Okay, we're on now.
Yep.
This is agweedo 6. Agweedo 5 wasn't recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And during agweedo 5, the crew jumped to Xandor. And while they arrived at Xandor, they pursued cargo, so selling their cargo, and they realized that a scout, Pliskin's brother, who runs the scout facility on Parch, had landed on Xandor. They realized that when Jack Skyson, a former scout, surfed the internet and found out that his a small elite scout ship had arrived. And during that time, the group decided to possibly find out if they could confront Big Dick, or if and they realized Big Dick was singling in on them pretty quick. Big Dick Pliskin. Anyways.
Sorry.
Yes, it
That's
is.
his
I
homie
got that
folks
from
name.
Pierre.
I'm catching up.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
And
so yeah, go ahead, Pierre. Got a comment
yeah,
on it?
that was his folksy name. Never mind,
Yeah,
You can
Pierre
call
gave
him
him that nickname. His real name's
you can
Richard
call him by
Pliskin.
Yep.
yeah. You can call him by his
He's the
regular rank if you prefer.
He was the
Scout
chief
rank.
commander of the small Parch scout base,
Yep.
which he was also corrupted and crooked and into it with his brother when his brother pirated certain vessels that visited the Parch system. But anyhow, that's over now.
Okay. So with the Pliskin brothers, is the youngest brother called Willie? Could we call him Wee Willie?
Little Willie.
Little Willie. Yeah.
We may be going
No, there
through a
is
lot
no
of
Little Willie.
Oh, okay. Poor guy.
There could be other siblings, but you haven't met them and you're not aware. So
Okay.
that's the way it is right now.
Cool.
But anyways, as that happened and as that went down, Jog was busy with the stripper in the bar, and Jack Skyson found his way into the website of the scout base and figured out that this guy had landed. He also figured out what was going on with him and where he was staying. Jack Skyson, also using some streetwise ability, figured out a way to get weapons. He found an underground black market through the shipping process that could get weapons in a crate for a high price, 1,000 credits, to a locker so that they could get their weapons into the starport and city past security. Right. And they used that locker a couple times to bring weapons in and out from their ship's locker and to bypass the high law level. They also got their air raft out, took their weapons, and went on the safari hunt. They got into a rough area where they had to go on foot. They got into an area where they also had encounters with some small parasite-like creatures that one of them bit Skyson and infected him. And they climbed up on a ridge, and they found Richard Pliskin, Commander Richard Pliskin, and his two goons, Jim and Joel's little camp. And from a higher height up on a ridge in this wooded area, they militarily executed them. Boom, boom, boom. One guy tried to get away, either Jim or Joel, whichever. One of them tried to run, and they followed after him. And then after killing those guys and getting them completely dead, they decided not to go back to the camp. And when they did peek back at the camp, they realized the crested Jabberwocks. There was 2 crested Jabberwocks there, and they were munching on the dead remains. So they tried to Yeah, go ahead, Pierre.
Yeah. Well, just to interject one note, not too many notes, but I remarked that the Jabberwocks, I think, are beautiful killing machines because what they don't eat, they bury in, about 100 weight of droppings. And so anybody who tries to dig for evidence at the crime scene. Not that anybody will go out to this godforsaken remote location, but if they did, their spouses won't talk to them for a week.
Awesome.
Won't get near them for a week. Okay, that's all I wanted to interject. Yeah. Humor.
Absolutely, a little bit in there, but yes, it was pretty nasty droppings there. Well, what ended up happening though was they were in pursuit, and they also had an issue with some chaser pouncers, which they made light of quick with the auto rifles on their way out trying to escape, and it was nighttime and very, very dreadful. And they made it just to the air raft and just took off while they were in pursuit before the crested Jabberwocks actually attacked them.
Awesome.
The crested Jabberwock actually leaped in the air while the air rafts were taken off, and they escaped clear and free.
Cool.
Right.
And the remains have been left were left in that wooded area, and whatever was left was left. The
Mhm.
bullets, the shots, the weapons were, of course, then brought back into the ship. Um, Stoney's been busy overseeing the engineers' projects and hardening the drives.
Mhm.
These hardening was extra protection. It's an extra free hit, but once it's hit, that money's wasted.
Yeah.
And it's 1,000,000 credits per like 35 tons of drive, which you guys are under that, because you're all Class A drives.
Mhm.
But what it works out to is it's like it's 500, I think, for the jump drive. It's 50% of that cost is for the jump drive.
Yeah.
25 and 25 is for the power plant and the maneuver drive.
Cool.
So one hit wipes you out $500,000 worth of value, but your drive's still intact.
Yeah.
It's
Which is worth
just
a
a
hell of
little
a lot more than
protection.
500.
Yes, it's a little protection to your drives.
Mhm.
So it was a value, and it was a score with the lanthanum.
Mhm.
And as of
So the
right now, go ahead.
The drives are hardened.
Yep.
The drives are hardened. It's almost complete. Stoney's been busy with that. Cowboy's been giving him crap because Cowboy likes to do things a little corrupt, and he just irritates Stoney. You guys have brought the air raft back, and I did read your email, Steve. I know
Cool.
we know. I know. I heard
Yep.
you. I might want to see if I can play that in somehow.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. We'll roll with that.
Mhm.
And just one more point. In the jungle, okay, we may not be telling all of this to Stony,
Funny. Mhm.
but in the jungle, what's for sure is that Skyson had some piece of flora or fauna, maybe it was flora, grab at his leg, and he was infected by some sort of agent and suffered some kind of delusion. So Verbal had to give him antibiotics until he got better. But for a moment there, he was a delusional person with a big rifle.
Mm.
That
Yes.
was tricky.
And you had to take away his rifle, which put him in jeopardy to more attack. But you did get through it, and you did realize what it was, and you got him back to health. He's fine. He would have stayed like that. He could have. You could have started looking like crested jabberwocks to him. I mean, anything
not
could have went.
Not a
good
pleasant
place
or
to be.
safe place. We're going to have to come there with huge man portables and start clearing some brush and civilizing the
Well,
place.
the problem is though, is in the cities, the civilization is all anchored. All of the cities. This is a rich world, and the cultural areas and the farming areas are well protected. But there are the rough, wild jungles, and the population has learned that you go in at your own risk. You can get permits for hunting to bring weapons in. You guys bypassed that because you brought in high-end military weapons, and the scouts
Yeah.
somehow did too, because you were pursuing them. So I don't know, Mantar. How are you going to play this with Stony? Are you there? What are you guys going to tell Stony now that?
Yeah, we just had some things to do and went out and went on a hunting trip just to unwind.
Okay, I'm glad someone's
It's
got
fine.
one.
Polish.
About it.
I'd polish the story a little bit more if I were you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Well, I'll just
If
complain
Verbal,
Sorry, you go.
yeah, if Verbal has been in the other, he must have a role for thinking up a lie and thinking it quick and all that
Well,
stuff.
Verbal, you could share what you want to tell him too, and just roll together with that, because you guys obviously don't have a kill with you. You didn't bring anything back, so it was an unsuccessful hunt.
Well, we got the
Even though it
incident
was
with-
very successful, it was unsuccessful.
Yeah. It's pretty dangerous. We'll say that the wildlife was bigger than we are, even with guns. They had plenty of leafy cover, so there were minuses. They had a lot of exciting rolls for that. Well, the player knows something was up, but not the character, not Stony, the character.
Yeah.
But we need. I as a Verbal suggest we should polish our story a little bit more before talking to Stony. We can just say, "Oh, we went safariing." Just for fun, because we were tired of civilized spaceport bars and whatever. But not a whole lot happened. It's a pretty risky place. That's the general tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we had tried to go to Pliskin's apartment, but that's when we found out from others that he was on that safari and he came to this planet for. Well, I think he was trying to go after us, but he went on safari, ended up going on safari instead. So then we go on safari. Stoney knows that we were trying to contact Big Dick Pliskin.
Does
So-
he? I don't recall. I mean, did
Yeah,
he? Did you guys
No.
tell him that?
I don't remember telling him anything about that.
Some characters were using.
Well, he may know though that you did bring guns through a
Yeah.
crate. No, because Cowboy was there when you did that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cowboy bluffed them up that it was for a hunt. We'll say that he did. Oh, we're going on a hunt. It's just a little regulatory. No, nothing major. So he's in the dark on that. But your guns are all back and locked up, and everything's kosher. Now you're at the starport. You've been here a while. You're in the main city, the Xandor capital. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful garden world. And here you are. I mean, you're in the end of week 5. You're in week 5 now because you've been here for a while.
Mhm.
But the drives are hardened. They're tip top. Stony, I mean, you can do an engineering check on them. You're basically done now. You can leave. You can do what you need to do.
Okay. Hope we don't screw it up.
All right. You guys are putzling around, and you notice that Cowboy Jones comes up to you and he says, "Hey, I found a little something. I think it has to do with Mr. Richard Pliskin." And he shows you this little disc. He said, I kind of hocked this when we were skimming
Oops.
through his hotel. Okay. And he puts in this disc, and it shows a detailed map of the facility on Fury Flame. Fury Flame is 2 parsecs away from you. And Fury Flame is it's a Venus. It's sort of like Venus. It's a nasty world. I can read you the stats, or I can type them in there right now. Give me a second. And he pulls out this disc about Fury Flame, and Fury Flame. We'll type this in, and you guys can
Mhm.
look at it yourselves, and I'll go through it real quick. Okay. Oh, where am I?
Okay, it's the star core word into trailing,
Okay.
I think.
Mhm.
Yep. Fury Flame. Fury Flame is C.
Oh shit.
C starport AC6200-8. There's a gas giant and it's a solo star. So what does that mean? C, it's a routine starport facility.
Mhm.
There's not much of anything there. A, it's a large world of 10,000, so the gravity's a little bit
And the
heavy.
environment is crap.
And the atmosphere is insidious. It's a
Yeah.
hot cooking world. Temperatures would probably be equivalent to like boiling 212 degrees or so. You need vac suits, and the vac suits can be depleted after so long.
Yep.
Fury Flame, the village on Fury Flame. What else do we have? So that's C. I'm going to go through that. So at 6 is, what do I have? AC 6.
Hydroponics. Hydrographics.
It's hydroponics, 60%, but that's not water. It's a different type of element, like an acidic acid. So it's not
Yay.
there. It's actually 0 hydrographics, but it's an acidic acid type of seas that's subjected to those temperatures. The temperature is about boiling on the surface. It's not as hot as Venus, but it's a pretty nasty place.
Yep.
The population there's hundreds of inhabitants in the capital of Fury Flame, which is one main city. There is a scout facility, which is on a small asteroid, which is real small, just a basic scout facility above the planet. There's an asteroid. It's a man-made orbit. Fury Flame has it has this like volcano, this huge volcano, and it's a tunnel. And what it is the tunnel it's an artificial like hurricane. You go right down through the middle of that tunnel, and it keeps the heat out. And then there's this big cavern which has been turned into through lighting and artificial technology into the village or the area where they live.
Mhm.
The acidic acid, though, some of the people they venture out, and the acid has some value for industrial means. They have special vac suits. They designed them themselves. They're technology level 8, so their technology level can sustain them there. and they also have ships coming in and out. So any ship would have to land through that vacuum. But according to what Cowboy pulls up this thing, he hocked it. He grabbed it. Richard's room when you guys were in the room. Do you remember? You guys did enter their room. You did hack and enter the room and look around to see who was there and to see what they were doing, and that's when you figured out they were on the safari. So basically, this information that you have, it's Pliskin, it's Snake Pliskin, Captain Pliskin's. He has a facility on Fury Flame or Friends. If you notice, Fury Flame isn't that far from Parch, where some of his goods and some of his values are stored. And it's not quite in the capital city, but supposedly he has another hidden facility in a canyon. Phone's ringing. Excuse me. I can't answer that now. In a canyon, I just turned it up. Somewhere on that world, and it looks like you have maps how to get to that facility, and that's a secret place where he just stashes his stuff. It's artificial, or where it's cooler, or the climate is okay in it. Some of these caverns, they've been hardened, and there's these pockets where there's normal climate and normal temperature underground. And now the people, there's only a few hundred that live there, and they make their living harvesting some of this acidic material, which is dangerous. And that's how they do it on Fury Flame. That's the reason why there's any population there. Otherwise, this would not be the primary planet. And what else do we know of Fury Flame? I can tell you right now. Again, oh, my eyes. Yes, there's a gas giant. There's a scout base. It's a solo star. Let's say it's an average size orange star. So there's not a lot quite going on there with that. So that's what you have right there. But in the meantime, you guys are exploring around. Are you looking for cargo? Are you looking for anything? You do, or you have anything to say to Cowboy when he pulls this up? Is there any concern? So there could be some.
Haven't decided where we're going to go yet.
Yeah. There could be some serious value in this facility, and the concept is that it might be just left alone, and it's sort of like a storage area. So you guys have a map, and you have direct access to it. You don't know what is there, but just something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's a small community I don't like it because it's a small community, enclosed with a couple of hundred nosy neighbors. I don't know if we can just walk in when Pliskin's not there, and I think they're going to notice if we try to make a go for his section of cave.
Let's get one thing straight. The actual population and the main city where all the people live is in a different location than this other facility. So you could bring cargo or you could bring merchandise. It is 2 parsecs, so it's about 2 weeks away at your speed from Xandar. Right. But anyway, there's that. So you do have this information about this facility. And anything else? Now, is there anything the crew would like to do? I mean, are you going to look at cargo? Do you want to go venture out? You're done. You're ready to go, but you haven't purchased any cargo. You haven't considered going anywhere.
Yeah, we'd have to decide where we're going to go. Possibly looking at that cache on Fury Flame to see what the Pliskins have stolen and rolled away there. Seems like it might be a good idea. I don't know. Then again, do we know where we can offload possibly hot goods? I don't know. Hey, what do you think, Verbal?
Well, we can probably tailor our cargo to this small community. What do they import the most of over there?
Well, they are technology 8. What would their code be? I gotta look at I got the charts and tables up to me. They're a low population. I don't know what's so low. They're non-industrial. It could be considered poor too. So I mean, certain quality food items, pharmaceuticals, those would be great purchases. I mean, pharmaceuticals, fruit, spices, all that stuff grain, because they're poor.
Yeah.
You'd get a plus there. They're non-industrial.
Basically,
Ammunition's
they need everything, and they sell acid for it.
Awesome.
yeah,
And not the fun acid either. The regular
Yeah.
not
industrial
the fun
acid.
stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Industrial acid, yeah. All right.
Okay, well, do
And
we
the
have a well?
acids, what they have there would qualify as petrochemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have petrochemicals that go for about 10,000 credits, and they can be encased. That's basically what it is, and there would be a -4 to the purchase on their world. Here, once if you would buy stuff there, if you'd go to Fury Flame, you could buy up their petrochemicals, or you could maybe make a trade for petrochemicals. They could sell you
Okay,
yeah. So there's that option there. You know that, and those
and
petrochemicals may be worth more at a industrial world or
yeah, we have to
you
plan
would.
where we can sell it again, and if it's on our way somewhere. Who's the most business savvy character for
You're
determining
the
where there's a market?
you're the one with
Yeah.
admin scores.
The only one?
That's it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure you're the guy. You're the admin. You're the broker guy.
Okay, well, I don't know if it needs a roll or not, but where could we then sell this industrial acid? Big
Well, first
tunnel.
you have to buy stuff to bring it back there. Actually, the acid you get it for it. Base price is the petrochemicals base price is 10,000 a ton. Non-industrial. An industrial world would be a +3, but I don't know where you have any industrial worlds nearby. I suppose it would sell big at agweedo, but agweedo's quite a ways away. Hoth or Maquila, it might do good at Timothy also. Timothy's non-industrial, partially
Yeah.
non.
I think that might be a secondary cargo to whatever we get from the Pliskin stash.
You don't need to actually get that either. You could just sell the stuff for what you want, for
Yeah,
cash.
we need to leave room for anything. If we can steal from Pliskin's stash, we need to have only enough cargo to maintain our cover, and then we'll be seen on Fury Flame. We do the trades, and they'll like it.
Okay, you're on your way to the You're on your way. You guys are on your way to the trade center. Then you're going to start looking at what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think we're going to Fury Flame, so yeah.
Okay, so you're on your way to the trade center, and while you're on your way to the trade center, a man approaches you as you leave the exit, and he says, "Pardon me, my name's Jack Reiser. Is your captain available? I'd really, really like to talk to him."
I'm the captain.
Captain, I'm curious if you would be interested in possibly helping me. I see that you have a small ship. I see that you have a free trader here. It looks like based on the registry, it's named the Venetian Wind. You're the captain of the Venetian Wind, and I have a very serious issue.
All right.
I have a small seeker. I'm a belter. I'm a belter by trade, and I surf around in mine, and I travel out of system, and I surf the belts all around this region, and I'm looking for good high-end minerals, high-end values. Anyways, my power plant crapped out. This is it's an older ship, and it crapped out on a rock in this system on the outside. I said, I don't have a lot of cash right now, but I did come across some very precious metals. And there's a deposit of precious metals where my ship is. I'm willing to share that load with you. If you could if I could take a crate or two, and take my crew out to this specific area, if you're willing to do that. I don't have the money up front, but I guarantee you, and he shows you a sample of, let's say it's like a raw titanium with certain elements in it. It would value at around 200,000 a ton. And he says there's a vein of this material that he discovered through his prospecting skills, and he needs to get his ship. He needs to get his ship out. He needs to get out there. He's got the drive. He said when his power plant broke down, his crew was on life support because this moon where he found this vein is near a gas giant. This is about similar to our solar system. It's about 20 AU out. Right? It's a smaller gas giant, kind of like Neptune size, hydrogen based. So he sent out a beacon and he caught a ride with a free trader to to go get this. Well, excuse me, I'm reading at the same time.
That's all right.
Yeah. And he doesn't have a lot of cash right now, but he says if he could help you, he shows you the sample, and sure enough, it's real. It's a valuable metal. It's stuff that can be used in ship construction and certain specific components. And he has the crate and he has the part he needs. He spent all the money he had to get this part, and he says it's a score. I'll share that score with you. I want to fill up my bays. That'll be enough to carry me for a long time. He says if you can, we might be able to even fill up your bay full of this stuff. And if I'm estimating, even right here on Xandor, it might be worth a sale. He says, so this is where I'm at. And I've got my crew of 4, and I would need passage for. And I can pay you. I mean, we can iron the passage out later. If it's a micro jump away, it's on the edge of the system. It wouldn't take you long to get there. He says, would there be a chance you'd be willing to help me get my ship?
So it's like on an asteroid on the edge of the system. The asteroid
It's
belt is
actually
on the
a
outside.
small moon. It's actually on a small moon. It's a rock moon where he discovered this vein in a crater. He was doing some prospecting and some surveying, and he came across this little small vein, and it may be deep. And I mean, it's precious metals, it's special alloys, and you guys can get out there and help him cut it up. And maybe help him install his drive and go from there.
The captain says, "Yeah, that sounds great, but we're kind of going. So maybe you ought to sell what you got there and hire a shuttle, because we're not a shuttle." And just proceeds to walk on by.
So he's
That's
not
Mantar
interested
doing
in
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, we're not a shuttle.
Whoops. Yeah. So.
Hire yourself a taxi.
He says, "Well, that's all I need is I mean, I'd really like you to do it for me." He's like, it would be a really good thing. I mean, I can. There's some serious money there, and I'm not giving away the location unless I get a passage there. Okay, so you walk on by. You say to hell with them. Okay, and you guys proceed. You proceed to the trade center.
All right.
Haha.
Let's see.
All right. You want to make some rolls, and let's see what you got. Roll me 2d6. Somebody, admin, and I'll tell you what we have.
Herbal, you're up.
Verbal, roll 2d6. I'll tell you what we're looking at for cargo.
Sorry, juggling things. Just a 2d6.
Plus
Yeah.
admin, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
No plus
plus
admin on this
no.
roll.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Only on the same.
Oh, there are some pharmaceuticals available.
Pharmaceuticals.
And those are at 100,000 a ton, and there are 5 tons of that, which would be 500,000. You could use your broker skill for a -1 to the roll, plus then you would get a -2 to the roll if you want to purchase these pharmaceuticals. Also, let's see what else you have available. There's also some grain, but that's low end. That's 300. You could also get that at a -2, -3 actually for the roll, because the grain is freshly grown here, and there's some agricultural prospects on it. So what you're looking at, you can get as unlimited amounts of the grain, as much as you want to purchase, and that's at 300 a ton. But it would go for a +4. The grain is still potential to go for a +4 on Fury Flame. So the grain could go for a lot of money.
That's good. Yeah, I think we might only have to carry 1 ton of pharmaceuticals to suit the needs of this very small population over there. We'd only want to carry a ton, and then maybe more grain, which is going to be used more often. The pharmaceuticals might go to their expiry date by the time they get through them. Let me see.
Well, the grain would be preserved, and the grain is well needed. I mean, you might be able to get the grain at a very high. Even though the grain's cheap, it could fill your cargo bay up at whatever you want. It's 300, and you get a -2 to that purchase, but you could sell that at +4. Remember, you also have like 64 tons of cargo space. Is it? You got a lot of cargoes. But the pharmaceuticals are definitely a score. 5 tons of that, that's 500,000 at base price. Plus, you get a -3 to your roll, so you can get them for a lot less. You want to get. I would say that would be a good purchase, and that's high value stuff for Fury Flame. You should be able to bank on that. If you take Fury Flame, should be interested in that. Their core facilities, or their government, or their medical, whatever small medical facility they have in the Fury Flame City, it should be worthwhile.
Still want to hold up entirely because you want to.
Okay, pharmaceuticals. We got pharmaceuticals. We got unlimited grain. Anything else at the moment?
Anything else at the moment? That's worthy of going there. You have electronic parts, and those might be of some value because they're high tech, and those are running for 100,000. You got a -3 to the roll to get that, and a -4. And that might be a score. There's 25 tons of that. They're at 100,000 a piece, though. I don't know if you could purchase that. You would get a +1 against your roll if you purchase it in a smaller amount.
Mm-hmm.
Those electronic parts might be worth money, but they're not as much of a hit as the pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals would definitely be high valued for Fury Flame.
It's such a small settlement, though. I don't know if we're gonna be credible with like 1 ton of this and 1 ton of that, and that we went all across space to deliver them 3 or 4 tons of stuff.
There's still a market. Based on your information, though, there's still a medical facility, and there is a government fund there that the village pools their money, so there still is a strong demand for those pharmaceuticals. They would very much like that. They do have issues, too, medical issues with the acid and with the environment they work in. They work in a very dangerous environment, burns and such things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, this would be a perfect fit if that's the direction you decide you want to go.
Yeah. Maybe we take the pharmaceuticals, a few tons of the electronics, grain, and just call it good. I don't know.
Well,
are we?
It's a lot of 5 tons. So you have to tell me what you decide you want to buy. Now remember, your payments also due, and your crew salaries are also.
Yeah, maybe settle the.
Man.
We got about $1 million. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to sell a whole lot of stuff over there. We might want to settle the mortgage, ship mortgage, or payment.
Yeah.
Call it a payment, and the crew salaries. Yeah, settle it before we go into the trade.
Definitely. All right.
So what are the subtractions here? We had the figure for the mortgage. I'm just calling it up here.
Oh,
That's
the
always a
mortgage is
constant.
160. The mortgage is 160,050 per month. Yeah.
Okay, so mortgage due, that's a constant. So 160,050
Yeah.
credits minus.
And the crew salary is 25,000, which pays everybody. All of you jump up the amount that's set on. I can change that. All you jump up the amount that's your salary in the black italics. So your funds will jump up, based on your salary. But that's 25,000 out of ship funds because you take a personal salary. So you're looking at 160,000. You're at 1,008,900 right now as you sit. So that'll be minus 160,50, and then minus 25,000 for that. So you want to pay that all ahead of time? You're going to pay everybody out?
Yeah, paying it all ahead of time, and I'm going to work the calculator.
Yeah, you can give me the total on that, and I'll just write it down. And I'll update all the characters here as we go.
Yeah, a few thousand each as agreed.
Based on their salaries. Cowboys at 12,000. Skyson's at 81,900. I'm updating them all, so you're all getting paid.
Okay, now we have a net ship funds 823,850.
There you go. Okay, and you're paid through. Yeah, you're paid. Stoney's at 49,000 now. I'm changing 49,150. Carlos, you yourself are at 42,690, and Captain Rodrigo pays himself 6,000, so he's at 43,900. I just updated the sheet. I can send it to you. So that's your personal credits, and you have the ship funds at how much, Pierre? What'd you add up? What's the total?
Now 823,850. 823,850.
823,000.
And
850.
850. Yeah.
Okay, there's your ship funds right now, and you're paid for 4 months across the board for the salaries. You're paid through April now, till the end of April. March is it? Well, you're in your last week, so you're
Oh,
paid
so
out.
yeah. So this salary is not a monthly salary; it's a quarterly.
It's a monthly salary. It's just
Oh, it
like
is
the
monthly.
payment. It's
Okay.
20. Yeah, for the whole crew, it's 25,000 a month. Everybody has a salary. Cowboy's salary is 5,000.
Yeah, got
Stoney's
it.
salary is 5,000. No, actually, Carlos, your salary is 5. Captain's gives himself 6,000, and Cowboy gets 3,000. Ace, Jack Skyson gets 4,000, and Jug Combe gets 2,000. The lowest paid, just a gunner Merc. But it all comes out to 25K for the salaries, and all your personal funds have been updated now. So that's where you're at. Now, do you want to try to purchase these pharmaceuticals or no? You notice too now that Pliskin, that Riser guy, not Plis, excuse me, Riser, that Jack Riser guy, he's pissed off. He comes up again and says, "Is there anything I could do to get you to run me out there? I mean, is there anything I could do? It wouldn't take you very long before you buy your cargo." He comes and approaches you again. He seems really pissed off. Because you're more of the what I need than a shuttle.
You want to handle that, Mantor?
Yeah, we are loading up cargo, and then we're out of this system. So I'm sorry, man, but we can't help you.
So he stomps off, and he goes off, and he's talking to a woman, and there's a skinny, sklinky guy near him, and then another guy, his crew, basically his crew. The woman is good looking, got half her head shaved, and looks a little gothic. She looks pissed, and she looks over, and she looks pissed, and she crosses her arms, and she's looking at you, and they're irritated. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So I said, I guess we'll have to get a shuttle then, and they drift on off.
Damn right. Well, I told you the first time. Alright.
Okay, so we'll roll with that.
Carlos is paranoid. He might meet more people from Pliskin's Invisible Empire.
Mantor's. Okay, anyways, so you're there. You're at Xandar. You're picking up the cargo. What are you buying? Are you going to make... I'm going to need a roll for the pharmaceuticals. How are you going to buy all 5 tons? Would be 500,000 base.
We'll take them. We might not be able to sell them all here, but they're preserved. We might sell them somewhere else in a more remote colony. But the base price is pretty high. We only have 800,000 to work with now, or 823, 850. And
well, but your payments made, and there's profitability in here that's huge.
Yeah,
and you could probably get this. What is the? This is it's a good cargo. You could also fill up what's left with grain, which is well needed, and you might even be able. You're not going to make a lot of money on the grain, but you still make some money on the grain. So you have you need a roll, and you get a -1 for your admin skill. I'm looking at it. And what else do you get? You want to roll low because it's your purchase price. So what do we got? Where was I? Oh, I'm losing it.
Okay. Trade.
-1 for the pharmaceuticals, and we'll get a -2, -3 to the purchase roll. I'm going to give you a -3 to the purchase roll for the pharmaceutical.
Yeah, okay. It's up to 500,000. I think we'll get it cheaper than that. Okay, so the overall roll is
Roll again for me. I didn't see what you wrote. Give me.
I didn't make a
I
roll.
see you roll. You rolled a 6.
Oops.
Is that
No, that escaped from me. That's not me. No.
okay?
That was the
2d6
cargo roll.
-3. 2d. You want to roll low.
Okay. Okay, -3. And do I subtract my admin to that or anything? I think you said -3, -1.
That
No, sorry,
includes
you're
your
right.
admin.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So that includes your admin bonus for the purchase. Holy shit!
Somebody really wants to unload these. Is that bad? Is that good or bad?
Wow,
No,
that's
the best you can
unfucking
get.
believable. Yeah, you
That's too
can't
cheap.
get a 1, so you're getting them at 40% of the cost. You're getting 5 tons at 40% of the cost of 100,000. So we'll do the math on that.
20.
You're getting them for 40.
200, sorry.
Yeah.
200.
You're instead of paying 500,000, you guys purchased these 5 tons of pharmaceuticals for 200,000 credits. You can't get a 1. The
Gotcha.
lowest score you can get is a 2, which is 40% of value. So I have to bump you up to that. So you
Sure.
have done miraculous.
Unless they get a special deal.
Good work, Verbal.
So that's 5 tons. Now your cargo bay, if I recall, I got to look at the sheet. You still have
2 extra tons of something in there.
You have 2 extra missiles.
Yeah.
You don't have any tons in there.
Oh.
The cargo bay has been cleared out. You got a cold sleep in Pliskin and still in low berth. But you have 2 extra missiles, which
He's literally a waste of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
You're kind of scared to just kind of let him go without killing him. I mean, so basically you have 63 tons of available space. You have 58 tons of available space, and you get the same roll. Actually,
the world thinks he's dead, and we should probably do something so that so that we adjust the situation to the majority opinion of the universe. What do you say?
No, he's just dead to us for now. He's going to be a great barter item, a barter ticket later on. When we've pissed off the entire Pliskin clan, the Johnson clan, and anybody else who's with them, we'll dangle him in
Dangle, yeah.
There's also 18 tons of meat available, of a meat type material. You got a -3 to that, and that's 1,500 a ton base price. So
this is something new, meat. We just got a hot new
grain. The meat's worth a little bit more though, and it's all preserved in crates. It's for 1,500 a ton base price. You get a -3 to that roll. You could load up on meat also. You could also load up on grain. The meat could pay back. The meat's just like the grain, but it could pay you better on Fury Flame when you arrive there. You would get a plus. Yeah, you get a -3 to the roll for the purchase, and you get a +3 to the roll for the sale. So
you're calling this meat and grain together?
No, it's separate. You got the grain is whatever you want to buy, and you get a -3 to that. That's only 300 credits a ton, but the meat is 1,500 a ton. You have 58 tons left. There's 18 tons of meat available. You could buy that on top of the pharmaceutical. So right now, you have the missiles screw up 1 ton of space. You have a 64-ton cargo bay, so you can't get a full ton because you got those extra missiles just hanging around. But you have 5 tons of pharmaceuticals at a cheap-ass price. You've already purchased those. You can get 18 tons of meat. That's at 1,500 base price, but you get a -3 to the roll. And then whatever's left, you can fill up on grain. And you could also see if you can get some passengers, too, if you want to. You have passenger capacity. Or if you don't want to deal with passengers.
Yeah. Is there some kind of travel exchange to find out about that? Who wants to go there?
Yeah, we could roll for that later. I mean, you do have 6 staterooms. Well, actually 5 if you leave Cowboy up there. Cowboy's your steward, believe it or not.
Look for acid-scarred natives around, around where we are. Zandor.
Anybody who wants to go to Fury Flame. I don't know, Captain. What do you think? You're interested in the meat or the grain, which is also a good buy for Fury Flame.
I think we want to try to keep some of our cargo hold open. So I don't know if we want to.
Can you imagine barbecues on Fury Flame? They don't have to set up a grill or anything. They just hold it in the air for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Crack window. There you go.
A little bit acidy, probably acid vapors around.
Yeah.
It's got a kind of spicy, it's got a kind of sweet and sour sirloin taste.
Yeah.
Sweet and sour sirloin
Melt
taste.
in the mouth.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Melting the mouth.
Makes the mouth melt.
Yeah, that's the one.
Makes them a little acid on that top. Makes
Yeah,
them all
a little bit more acid on that, please. Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Your mouth waters, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah. So do you want fries with that? Do you want acid with that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I think the meat is more interesting than boring grain. They might not have seen, quality cuts in a while, fresh frozen meat,
Yeah.
or however it's
Cristed
preserved.
Cristed Jabberwocky meat for all we know. Anyway.
I think
Well,
it'll cost
that's-
more. Yeah, let's
You know.
go ahead and get the meat too, and then we'll just call it good.
Are we shooting for all 18 tons available,
Okay.
or what?
That would
Might
be
as
the
well.
lot. Yeah.
It's probably simpler to
So
have
you
a
need to
whole
do
lot.
another roll -3.
Okay.
You want to roll low.
Roll up two
Yeah.
ones. 2 ones.
-3.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Supreme.
I have
Oh,
faith
my
in the
Lord.
roll 20. Yeah,
So
these
what's
are
40% of that? It's 600 times 18. Somebody do the math on me. 18 tons of.
yeah. 18 tons at 1,500, but brought down to 40%. That's
Is 600. That would be 600
Yeah,
a ton
okay.
times 18. What does that come up to?
60. 100 and...
yeah, 600 times 18, easy.
108? No. God, my brain's gone.
Not good for all of it, but yeah.
I'll break out the electronic calculator.
That's what I need. I don't like to do
My
math.
brain.
It is 10,800.
That's
So you spent
18
10,800 on, huh? Is that what it
18
is?
tons of meat for 10,800.
Beautiful.
So what's the balance now on the ship funds? Minus
Okay.
210,800. You got
Yeah.
that too? Let's change that right
Is
away
it
too.
possible,
Now-
I'll connect with the captain. Captain, while you're out there, is it possible that you could perhaps bump up the, since we've only got 2 missiles, could we fill up the whole complement and take that whole tonnage up with some spare missiles?
This place is antsy about weapons, though.
Mm,
yeah.
okay.
By the
Yeah,
way,
but
the new
you
ship
might-
balance is 613,050 credits.
Nice.
Yep, you're still sitting good. 613,050 credits, and everybody's been paid. Your payments made, and it looks like you're going to make some money going to Fury Flame.
We're topped
Oh.
up for life support as well. I think we were topped up.
Yes, you are. You're full. You did purchase life support earlier, and you also purchased fuel. You are full of fuel, 44 tons. You have a
It's
full
all that guy.
120 units.
Okay.
Now remember, you burn a unit a week, so you could go a long time. A unit is 500 a unit per person.
Yeah, we're
And your
probably
ship-
carrying too much life support because it's sacrificing some cargo space.
No,
But-
it doesn't.
Apparently-
It doesn't. Life support goes into your basic facilities. It's a
Yeah.
facility
A quarter of
spot.
a ton
I'm allowing
more-
12 units of life support, which would be 3 months a person. 12 units is 12 weeks per stateroom, and you have 10 staterooms. So you only use the life support if people are there. It's not just this. This is a home rule. This is a
Mhm.
home rule. It's sort of based off of Cethi, Sigid, and Mongoose, but I just chopped it down to 500 per person per week. And there's only 6 of you. You don't have any passengers yet. Are you going to bring some passengers along?
Oh,
Uh,
lordy, lordy.
Or you're just going to skip that?
yeah, I think we'll skip that. Let's see.
Well,
We had enough
what's the
people trying to
market
get a
for?
ride.
Yeah, if we go to a travel exchange and say we're willing to send passengers in our luxurious
No,
accommodations,
don't want any high passengers. They are always too needy. Get some middle passengers. They
but what is the prospect? What is the market for people willing to go to Fury Flame unless they have
oh,
Well, there are some
passengers
limited.
people
card
that are
basis?
interested. There are some workers that have been promised jobs, and they have vouchers that would pay you middle passage per parsec, which is 8,000 a parsec. It's 16,000 times 5 passengers, but then you're going to burn a little life support, 2 weeks worth of life support.
Yeah, but you're
So
making a lot of
your
money.
prospects are good if you could take 5 passengers along. And there are 5 passengers available that would be interested in going there. It's not
Okay,
a place of high. It's people that are promised jobs that have vouchers that will pay you. That the
right.
vouchers will go into your ship funds. It's not their money, but
We
they're
we
looking for passengers.
diversify. I think it enhances our cover.
All right.
Also means more people watching the patient,
So that's
passengers.
16,000 times 5. But instead of burning just 6 units a week, you're going to burn 11 units a week now because you have to, of course, provide life support for 5 more passengers. And then Cowboy Jones, which will fill up if they each have a stateroom. You have 4 staterooms which you share, but Cowboy Jones, because he's the steward, has his own stateroom. And unless you get fill up passages, he's up with the passenger area, which is the upstairs arena. There's a passenger
Mm-hmm.
facilities aboard your free trader. I think I did send you guys deck plans for that at one
So
time.
now I understand why he has this higher opinion of himself. Right.
What is that, Steve?
Nothing. Stoney's just putting two and two together. He gets to have his whole little suite to
Oh,
himself.
Cowboy.
Yep, that's all good.
Yeah.
We'll sort that out. Now, how do I get to vent some nasty fumes into his stateroom? Anyway, it was an accident, honest captain. Just trying to improve the efficiency of something. Anyway.
Yeah, I believe you. All right.
So you guys are eating, and then Cowboy says to you, when you kill somebody, you want to shoot him in the back of the head sometimes. And he's just doing it just for you specifically. When you put a bullet right through the ears the right way, they drop like a fly. You ever see a fly get swatted and how it drops? And he purposely knows this kind of shit
Yeah, no,
irritates you.
well, I'll just shoot back at him. And have you ever seen when someone's captured a fly and they pull the wings off?
Oh, that's kind of fun
It's
too.
called a walk.
They just
Glenn.
hobble around and they can't do anything.
Just walk.
Yeah, they just hobble around for a little while and then eventually die.
Yeah, everyone does.
I kind of like that technique too. You're
Mm.
onto something there, Stoney, he says
Could be.
in a weird little voice. So, okay, you have 5 passengers.
Right.
2 of them are, they're all kind of young men.
Yeah.
You do notice that that Jack Reiser guy, they seem to have been watching what you're buying. I mean, they've been around as you're at the trade center as you're there, and it seems like they're near where your transactions have been. This guy and they look at the same time they're shopping around for a shuttle. But obviously they were around the same area you were in this trade facility the whole time. So just something to be aware of.
All right.
Warm up
Well,
the
we're
turret.
But
leaving
okay,
this place,
as of right now, you have your full manifesto. You have 5 passengers. They're all young men looking to go to work. They've been hard on their luck, kind of low, like poverty ridden type of
Yep.
men that didn't really have a lot of like high school dropout dumbasses looking for a job. They know that they can make good money. Or they're promised good money to go there.
Scooping up acid.
blue collar Joes.
Yeah. Harvesting acid in 212-degree temperatures
Woo-hoo.
with vac suits that can weaken out and the occasional acid burn that penetrates through that needs to be patched.
Cool.
Yeah.
The glory
Yeah.
days.
Nothing. She does like a great job, huh? Supposedly pays good
Yeah.
benefits. Yeah,
Lots
she
of
did
it.
work in the mines and makes money. Acid harvesting.
Acid mining. Wonderful.
So here we are. You're loaded up. You're ready to go. You can.
Yep.
What are you gonna
Let's
do?
go.
What's the plan?
Let's blow this taco stand.
Yeah. The verbal is because he's verbal. He's making small chit chat with these passengers, and he says, "Hey, would you guys happen to like?" And then verbal looks over his shoulder at the crates of meat, and he says, "Do you like Filoni?" Why am I asking? No reason.
They just kind of look at him dumbfounded. They don't
Never
get
heard
it.
of Filoni? Okay, you will. Probably for months.
Mm, if they're lucky.
Oh.
Okay.
Every single day
Oh.
for months.
Are we taking?
Okay, then you guys are taking off. I'm going to need a pilot roll from the captain. Engineering check from Stony. Maybe a sensor roll too. Engines check out immaculate. You are so pleased with the hardening and the drives and the crisp. And you're also glad you watched over them because you're very meticulous about your drives. And some of the stuff they were doing was just not the right protocol. You had to correct them from time to time. But you're very pleased with the way the drives are humming as you lift off. And need a pilot roll too. You're pulling out of the atmosphere. Mantar, Captain Rodrigo.
All right.
Both Jug and Skyson are in the turrets. They're checking and running their sensor and electronic stuff in the turrets. 8 + 2, fine. Everything checks off just fine. The size of this world, I don't remember what it is. Let's see. Sandor is the size 7. Puts you at. So you're heading to the jump point. There's a lot. This is a highly populated area. There's a lot of traffic. It's going to take you a couple weeks to get there. But also, Fury Flame is not exactly the place it could be. So as you're gearing to take off, so you took off. Okay, let's see what else we're looking for. The jump, the distance it's going to take. There's a shuttle that takes off, and it's heading in the opposite direction towards out of system. And you hear over the intercom, this voice, "Fuck you, Venetian Wind. You could have helped us and been in on some money, but we got what we need. We know who you are. We know who you are."
I'm happy for you.
So you hear that over the comm.
Happy it worked
have-
out.
Do we have anything that can what we need is a bendable screen on the outside of our ship so that we can send a video message to them, like raise the middle finger and point it towards them.
You mean little LED lights or some
Yeah,
shit?
something that can give them that sort of view. Beat.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be nice, but be scraped off after the first combat.
I know.
Yeah, we could probably
Yeah,
spend some money on it
perhaps a
anyway.
stick-
Yeah,
picture we
and
could
I'm not
send
the
them.
one. I'm not the one going EVA to screw in 10,000 new
that's my
Christmas
job.
lights so you
I'll
can
be
have your
doing it,
bloody
don't worry.
LED display.
Yeah. I'll just
Yeah,
You know,
we'll pay
it's a-
we'll pay some guy at the station to do that.
Okay.
Buy him
It's,
a sheet.
It's 348 minutes before you finally reach the jump point. They obviously they were in some kind of smaller jump capable shuttle, and they're off to go whatever. They're gone. So they just got to say that F you. They never got a
That's
chance
fine.
to receive any message, but they're gone. And now you're at your jump point, so you're ready to fire the jump drive. It looks like it's going to be a couple weeks to jump.
Let's all
All
enjoy
right.
this next jump, folks. I say over the intercom.
All right, so the drive is fired. We got a roll, Captain Rodrigo. Another jump roll. You're good with that. We won't roll it because you're running refined fuel. You guys bought refined fuel, so you're good. The jump drives fire. Is there anything anyone wants to do? You've got like just just a little under 2 weeks, which we'll say that was the end of week 4, which will put you past the first week of April into Fury Flame.
I don't know. I don't remember, or maybe I did note it down. If we were in some kind of training regimen, like to, slowly learn something new. I don't think I noted anything at all.
I don't think
slowly learn new things, don't you think, Verbal?
What?
Don't you think we
What's
all
that?
are learning something slowly new?
Slowly
what does
new?
that
Okay.
mean?
I don't get it. No, don't get it.
That's okay. This is the sort of thing that Stoney says when everyone's gathered around the table to eat. Not pointing it out.
Verbal's easily amused at his Filoni quip. He just, he's sort of, his brain sort of has been occupied for hours, much like being in Jump.
Cowboy looks over and he says, Stoney, what are you sweating? You ain't learning nothing new. All you want to do is gripe and turn wrenches in your drives. Why don't you just relax, brother? Relax.
Actually, you're right.
Take it
I
easy.
should take
Put
a
your
much
feet
more
up.
deeper breath and just relax, shouldn't I? I will definitely do that. Thank you for that, Cowboy. And I smile at him.
Dyson and Jug just laugh. You go, oh, you two. And they're going in, and Dyson's going in and grabbing himself a cold brewski out of the thing. Cowboy says, I got to go back up and check on my passengers and make sure everything's okay and get them their dinner. I'm up to the top level, so you have the ship pretty well restricted.
Yep.
And no one can get anywhere else, right? You got your security on, and the passengers can stay up on top.
I hope they have.
Okay, I hope we're
cockpit, please.
I hope we're practicing.
Somebody do an electronics check. Make sure that's make sure that's all up and running. Do an electronics check, Pierre.
Yeah. Okay. At 2. Oops. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Now I'm out of roll 20. Blah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. It looks as though Verbal is ejected
back
into space.
I'm back. Roll electronics 2. Actually.
Electronics 2.
Yeah.
So what do you got there?
For security.
7.
Okay.
Everything seems to be looking secure.
Oh,
I'll give you a +1 on that one too. You'll give you a little bit of a half education or a little bit of an education. Everything seems secure and on par, and there doesn't seem to be any issues. These guys are really just doughhead idiots. They're like from the reject class in school. They just I got a job, and they're Cowboys just having fun with them because he can handle them like doughhead soldiers he's dealt with in battalions like red shirts he sent out to get killed first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he sees in front of him, a bunch of red shirts. Cowboy says, oh boy, some of these boys ain't going to last very long. They're going to be acid puddles, as he's saying. So basically the 2 weeks is pretty uneventful. Cowboy's a little irritated, and he comes on down and says, he says, you haven't been messing with the life support or air duct systems, have you there, Stoney? He says, I don't think that's very nice. I look
slightly shocked. Slightly. Why would I do that? I would never put anyone's life in danger once we're underway in space. That would just be really stupid.
I just don't like my room smelling like ass, though.
Really?
My room's got this
smells like
strong ass smell.
Well, I do have a big smile on my face. I'll look into that for you. Man,
maybe we could switch staterooms and you could stay up there for a little while.
You're the steward. You've got the expertise there. You know how to serve, scrape, and bow to all the people up there. So you do that. You're good at that. So yeah, that's great. But I'll look into that for you. I'll see if I've got. So you say I'll check the filters. See if there's something. You haven't stashed anything down near the filters or anything that could have gone off. No.
No.
Okay.
I'm in an ass-smelling room. And I know you got something to do with it, Stoney. What comes around goes around. I'm in an ass-smelling room is what he says.
Well,
the
Filoni provides for those who need what they need.
Filoni will start smelling like ass if you leave it out long enough.
Really? I didn't know that, Verbal. Thank you for telling me
maybe
that.
some sort of rodent broke into our solid crates and then broke into a container of bologna and with its and ripped through the steel with its little claws and maybe just left it out under his bed or something.
You seem to know an awful lot about this, Verbal. Should we go up and check that there's nothing under your bed, cowboy?
Who, me? No. Or no, his bed? Yeah, maybe. Whatever smells like ass. But the bologna has not
Whatever
had time to
smells
rot.
like
I don't know what he does to entertain the boys up there, but whatever it is, that's his work, not mine.
It's the only food whose shelf life is printed on the label as plus or 30 years plus or minus 5. We don't really know. They actually print it. We don't really know.
Excellent. Well, as I said, I'll go and have a look and I'll scrub some filters and see if that improves your air quality, cowboy. Can't have that.
I think we'll look into that ourselves. Why don't you just stay in the engine room? He says, come on with me. And he reaches on out and he asks, who else could help him with that? Skyson could help him. He's got electronics. Jug does. Actually, there's not too many people that can help him with it.
Nope.
Skyson could a little bit. So Skyson goes down and he says, yeah, there's a vent issue here. Stoney, come on, you two both need to get this right. And I've corrected it.
Oh, really?
There's no more issue.
Gee, I've been so busy with checking the engines over, I didn't really think of that. Just want to make sure
yeah.
they're along,
Yeah.
The engines are my
and then out of nowhere, Cowboy just swings at you. He's pissed. He swings. He's going to punch you. Right. This is about you're about a half a day away from coming on a jump.
Yeah.
And you're going to need and he's going to take a swing at you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Cowboy is so this is going to be just a typical in-house brawl.
No,
Cowboy has brawling 0. He's got a dexterity of 11, which is a +2 to the hit.
Are we going
you guys
into combat?
We're going into combat.
Okay.
He has the prize because you did not expect this. So right now, you get to roll after right now. Cowboy's hitting you first.
Okay.
It's a straight hit. There's no armor.
That's so cool.
But he's pissed. He's so pissed to the point where he's actually going to take a swing at you.
Yeah.
Because he did not like this ass thing, and he likes messing with you. But as far as he's concerned, it's just a typical in-house brawl. Nobody's killing everybody, but that is a direct hit. So he directly hits you, which will do about basic 1d of damage.
Yep, go for it. Oh, and this is all on my endurance anyway.
Damage.
One.
So you fall down. He hits you. He doesn't knock you down, but he did a 6. Did I roll that right? A 6.
Yep.
So it was a blast.
Yep.
What's your stats?
I've got a 9 on my endurance.
A 9 on your endurance. You're fine. You're not, but you're down. Your endurance is a 3 right as of temporarily right now.
Yep.
Anna, let's see if you can respond back or hit him back. What's your plan?
I'm going to respond to him. I'll pick myself up, rub my chin, and say, "Oh, no need to get all bent out of shape about anything, mate. I'll just walk away."
Okay, and I'm gonna roll. Let me see. 4. Yeah, he starts cussing at you. Says he had got no and then he doesn't do anything else.
Yep.
So you walk away, and then he walks away. So nobody needed to break it up, but he was ready to take another swing, and he was expecting to swing back.
If he does, he can. I'm not going to be responding.
Okay, he does not swing again, but he bitches and gripes, and he got his one punch in. He says, "Jokes are one thing, but I don't like ass smell in my room. I'm getting fed up. Let's not cross the line." He says, "No more of that. Next time we'll duke this out a little better." He says, I see you can pick yourself up off the floor now," and then he walks off. Captain, you're the captain. Any thoughts?
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've mostly put up with the shenanigans a bit, but it looks like it got a little bit too far there. But, well, looks like it sorted itself out. Hopefully Stoney has been suitably chastised and will back up the jokes just a touch.
But anyway.
Stoney, you also start having some weird flashes, and you're getting these moments of anger.
Oh,
Like,
that's
how
okay.
dare they? You're feeling these moments of like, how dare they do this? You don't know exactly where that's coming from, but you have these moments going on. You also have some sympathy and empathy for Cowboy,
Do I?
that you haven't had before. Even though he
Oh.
just hit you, you have anger and sympathy at the same time, and you don't exactly understand it. But anyway, from there we're going to come out. You got to cut. Now it's time to gear up. Now your damage is light. Your points are already starting to come
Yeah,
back. It was
that's
just
cool.
a blaster. It was just a typical brawl. He was ready to keep fighting, and he's military trained. And you both are. You
I
both
know.
could have put on a hell of a fight,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't. So here you are. You're about ready to come out of jump drive. Anybody in position? What are we doing?
Okay,
Drew?
it's
Captain? Anybody there?
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
here.
here. Sure. Can you
Where
hear
are
us?
you positioned? Where did you command
Yeah,
everybody to be? Where are you at?
Well,
I'm
up
always
on the
doing the
bridge
sensor
flying.
thing.
He's doing sensors, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jog and Skyson are in the turrets, I assume. Did you command them to be there, or no, or
Uh,
what?
that's I didn't tell them to, but I assume they're probably there. Since we're coming out,
Okay.
that's usually what we do.
Yep, they are.
Expecting trouble.
Okay, and you're back by the drives. You're gonna do a drive test, do a navigation check. Okay, the ship comes out of jump drive. I want a navigation roll. Let's see what happens. Pierre, that would be you, I believe. I think you got navigation one.
Was it?
I've
I
got
think I was
nav
with
two.
my other.
Anyway,
Okay, well you can do the nav then,
Give him.
Captain. Captain, do the nav roll +2. 2d6
9.
+2. Come out fine. You are right about at the 100 diameter point of
Lovely. Fury
Okay.
Flame?
yep.
I hope it's Fury
What is
Flame.
the size of the planet? Fury Flame, which is a size 10, which means it's a size 10 world, so it's going to take a little while to get there. You're on your way into Fury Flame as of right now. But you're picking up some kind of ship signature about halfway, about 50 diameters, heading outward. It seems like it just started picking up acceleration once you came out of jump. It's at a dead stop, but now it's accelerating outward in your direction. I'll need a sensors check on that.
Everybody hit battle stations. That's a bad sign. If they're
Okay,
not
that's
in their
me
positions, I want them there
doing.
now.
Yeah, I'm doing the sensors thing. Whoops, get back to the right screen.
We'll need an electronics roll, Pierre.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to zoom in on
Getting
it.
into my jump vac suit.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
13.
nice.
Which is perfect because these are basic civilian, which would be a -1, which is a 12, which is still phenomenal. Sure enough, you're able to scope on in on this, and it is a seeker. It is a scout seeker vessel, and you know that based on the information you have, it has a double turret, and it seems that one of its bays is about ready to sort of open. It's open, but nothing's. It's even though it's going at a certain speed, it has a bay that's open. One of the two bays is open, and it's heading out towards you. The ship, it's a seeker vessel, so it's obviously a scout seeker vessel. That's what you know for sure. You don't know much more beyond that.
This Jack Reiser mentioned he had a seeker, or it was broken in the engine. I don't think he would have had time to fix it and get here ahead of us.
No.
He's probably lying about it being broken. And now I guess it's faster than us because he's here first, waiting for us.
He's in
Seeker
the way.
Seeker would be at FTL 2, like a scout ship. You're at FTL 1, so yeah, he would have a weak advantage.
Shoot.
Yeah, boy.
That would be the case. If
right.
that's him or whatever. But the Seeker is headed directly in your direction, and as of right now, it is it's distant. It's at a distance where it is out of range, but you are heading in that direction at the acceleration that you planned. There is no way really to go anywhere around this thing.
Yep.
You could try to maneuver around it and do a loop. That would take longer, and you
Nah.
would still be at risk. Or you can face it and try to put on comms, whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah. Give me some missiles, because I can tell right here this guy is behaving aggressively, and I'm not gonna play around. Let's just hit him.
Yeah, I think he probably had intention to pirate our ship at some point once we got to his perfectly capable ship,
Yeah. It's
perfectly space worthy.
yeah.
But now if it's the same guy, well, a Seeker's here looking aggressive, so you should probably open up the traditional comms and try to communicate
Yeah.
with what this guy
You're
is.
still not in a range, but you're both
No.
going to be approaching. You're still at a beyond distant range, so combat is pretty much futile. He cannot fight with you yet. You're way past 50,000 kilometers, but you did pick him up. So I mean, you do have him
Yeah.
on the scanners, and he has you now, and he's heading in your direction. And luckily, good sensor skills. You were able to get the most out of your civilian sensors to actually get a visual of exactly what the ship is. So
A Seeker. Okay.
it is
So
a Seeker. Are you going to open the comms and try to talk to it? Say, what is this attention?
Yeah, I guess so.
You're heading in our direction. Hostile. What are you going to say, Captain?
Yeah. Attention seeker. Please move away and get out of our path. Your actions appear hostile, and I will retaliate if they are not if your actions do not cease. All right, what does he say back?
As of right now, you don't hear anything, and you're both starting to get into the zone. He's not that far. You know, the little bit of time has passed, but now he's about in a distant. He's just he's past distant now, and he's in very long range. So combat can happen now, but it hasn't yet. So which means he's about 50,000 to 25,000 kilometers away. But now he's scoping on in at you. So you are in active combat range, but there's penalties. He has not responded. He has not fired, but he is steadily aiming in the direction of your vessel.
Yeah,
and you haven't heard a response.
Yeah, I think that counts as hostile. He's homing in on us. He was waiting for us, and now he's refusing to answer hails.
Okay.
I think we're in the clear to fire missiles.
Okay, well, we'd have to start with the combat sequence. So right now, if you fire first, that would make you the intruder. So if you're going to fire at him first, it would have to be lasers. So it's intruder movement. So your movement, what you're going to do. Your movement, so you're going to keep on course? How are you moving? What's your movement plan? Are you going to try to evade? Are you going to keep on course? Are you going to try to do a little bit of maneuver evading where you zigzag, but you're still on course to planet?
Yeah, evasive maneuvers is what we're going for.
So you're going to do some evasive maneuvers, and you can fire lasers first, but you can't fire, and then they can return lasers, and then you can go into your missile launch ordnance. So are you firing lasers, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, it looks
you would have to command that to Jug.
Open fire.
Open fire. You command to open fire on
light him up.
Okay, just as you're about ready to light him up, you notice out of that bay, it's just a Seeker with one turret. It's 100 tons. It's half your size. But out of that one fuel bay, a fighter drops out.
Of course.
And picks up even at faster acceleration in the direction of you. And then you hear the comms. Yeah. And then you hear over the comms, this is Jack Reiser, and this is Norma Reiser, formerly Norma Pliskin, you bastards. and there's a maneuver evade. You notice that the fighter is spinning now. Now you have two vessels now, and your targeting is not on the fighter. You're targeting right now, you'd have to refocus your targets. But both your targets have been aimed at the. So you have a fighter to deal with also, but you're at the Seeker, and they're going to take their shots because you commanded them to fire. You're in a combat sequence.
Yep.
So let's see what happens here. I got to look at all the mods.
I knew that guy was up to something.
Should we reveal who our cargo is?
What's your piloting skill? Your piloting skill is which you're not revealed. The cargo doesn't matter.
Oh,
They're
I
fired.
got pilot 2.
He's thinking about the low berth cargo.
Pilot 2, pilot 2.
Yeah.
You can always shoot him
that's
out
a
with
hit.
a missile. Take this.
3.
See, we're probably
Yeah,
looking
pilot
for a
2
good.
-1.
Why don't we tell them we got the real Pliskin? He's alive.
No, not yet, not yet.
Why not?
Yeah. First to see
Because
if
let's play with them first.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do a roll. You got a +3 -1. It would be a. Skyson's your guy. I don't know. Skyson's which turret is Skyson in? Let's see. Let me look at the sheet again. Skyson would be in the missile turret. He's a better gunner. He's a gunner 3. So let's see. You got shit. Looking armament. 2 double turrets. 1 beam with a missile rack and 1 beam with a sandcaster. Skyson is shooting a beam laser. He hasn't had time to refocus. That'll be in the next round if someone's gonna have to refocus and aim at the fighter. Now the fighter has faster acceleration, so the fighter, and also so does the Seeker, because you only moving at 1G. So with all the mods to consider, and Skyson as well, Skyson will only get, because of the maneuver and the advantage of the ship, he's getting 2d6. Some of his skill is depleted because of that. The advantages and the skills of the other ship. So he's only going to get a +1 to the hit on the roll. And he hits! Skyson has a direct laser hit on the ship. And someone want to roll for damage? That's 1 hit. Now let's see what Jug does. Where's Jug's skill? Based on the character Jug.
Isn't it 2d6 for the damage?
Yes, it's 2d6 for the damage.
Oh.
Get a double.
See, it's on a table.
Get a double 6.
Double 6 and put it right to the.
Yeah, it'll blow it to bits. Critical hit.
Nah, still a 5.
Oh, that might be okay. Let's see when the cockpit
5.
hit.
What is that on the table? Let me look. Ship combat. Space combat. A 5 is a fuel hit. So you did damage their fuel drive, which means they lost about 10 tons of fuel. But that's still not susceptible damage. Now we're considering the range too. Where are we at? You're at long range beam laser. Yeah, I did consider that. So as of right now, with that hit, it's going to be. What is Jug's skills? I'm going to look at Jug. Is he 2 or is he a gunner 1? I think Jug is a. God, Jug is a gunner 2. So instead of a -1, he's not as good as Skyson. He gets a straight 2d6 hit, and Jug misses with the other beam laser. So now they get to return fire, and it's a gunner 2. The advantage, the range. Oh, this guy's actually got a +1 to the hit. One of their gunners. Ow! And that's a direct hit on your ship. So there's only 1 turret, so he can only shoot once, and then so that's it. But that's a hit, and that's going to be 2d6. Your ship did just take a hit, and that is a 9. That is a 9, which is a what? That's a computer or electronics hit.
Ooh.
So you're going to have another negative to all your sensor or computer electronics rolls from here on out. You just took some kind of damage. You might be able to readjust it. But you're still solid. You're still able to fight right now as of it. And you're able to launch missiles that are coming on in. Now, now you also have another issue. You've got that fighter scooping on in. And it's scooping on in quickly, and it's going to fire off its pulse laser. It's moving in already quicker than you. It has an advantage. And Norma is piloting that. And Norma is also a pretty good pilot, and she's also a gunner. So she's equipped to handle that fighter quite well. So Norma speaks over the comms. He goes, "Have you met my little fighter there, Venetian Wind? What happened to my brother?" And then all of a sudden you hear a pulse laser firing. Maneuver evade. You're going to do maneuver evades? I'm going to give you your maneuver evade, so I'm going to give her a straight roll. Because you're oh my shit, she hit you with the pulse laser.
Here comes
also.
the double 6 for damage.
Now this is your ship that just got hit.
Yeah, I know.
And that's a 9. That's another electronic sensors roll. You guys seem to be in a little bit of a pinch. She goes, again, You're a sitting duck to me. Us. You don't think we've done this a few times? And they're moving on in, and now it's your turn. You can launch missiles or sand, or we'll go from there. So you can launch your missiles.
All right.
Go for the missiles.
Yeah, open up with missiles.
So you
The
launch
fighter.
one missile. That would be 3 is the roll for that. The missile launches. It spirals a little funky, but it's off. So either way, the missile is off, and that missile will take 2 turns before it gets there. It can't get there yet. We'll see if they can try to defeat that missile. That missile is heading in the direction of the seeker, not the fighter. So that takes us to what phase of the turn? So now the intruder, you have a technical turn where you can see if you could. You took 2 hits, which is negative to the sensors. Pierre, you could do an electronics roll to see if you could sort of repair the sensors. You got the chance to do that. Then we're moving into the native movement. You're the intruder because you fired first,
Yep.
so the native movement would be them. Even though they're the intruder, they are now considered the native because you fired first. Oh! You did rewire the sensors while you're doing the repair. During this phase, is there anything else anybody else wants to do? This is your significant action phase. Is there anything you need to do or reposition yourselves or make a strategy or try to make a plan, like how you're going to deal with the fighter and a seeker?
I'm sitting in the engineering section waiting to do anything I need to do there.
Yeah.
Anymore.
I
Who
think we're just gonna.
entered the other chat room?
Okay.
What's that?
Well, in the meantime, Skyson radios to the camera, says, "I'm re-aiming and focusing on that fighter right now. Jug, you got to just keep blasting lasers at that seeker. I cannot do both, but that fighter's more of a threat to us." So he says, "I'm aiming in on the fighter." And then all of a sudden, you hear over the comms, says, "Do you really want to be leveled? What happened to my brother?"
He's
She
sleeping.
says, "Did you guys actually say that to her?"
Well, I
Yeah,
say that in the engineering section. I don't know if she can hear me.
Yeah, Captain
Oh,
says he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. So you do have him. He is alive. So at the moment, there's no firing, but she's still moving on in, and now they would have a chance to fire lasers again, and she does. I'm going to say your maneuver evade's working. I'm going to give, because you're better prepared, I'm going to give, and even though she's skilled, I'm going to give her a -1 to the roll. And she misses the laser, but it screeches past the ship. So the pulse laser she just shot, and now you guys are within medium range. And the missile should be arriving after this turn. You both have a chance to return laser fire. Skyson's, because now that you're at medium range, anybody want to roll for Skyson? Go ahead, +1. +1, and you're shooting at the fighter.
Go, man.
Somebody
Cat of 9 fails who just entered the other chat room.
Okay. Ooh, that's a hit. Give me 2D roll. 2D roll on that. You hit the fighter. You actually hit the fighter. Let's see what you got. 7. That would be small craft. Ooh, that's a computer, which means her electrical systems more or less. Skyson did make the hit. More or less are fried. She may still be able to fire or pilot, but she definitely might want to be in the retreat mode. So at this point, she cannot. The intruder would in turn. She's the native, so you return the laser fire. They can launch missiles, and there is a missile rack, and they just launch missiles, and their missile will be able to hit your ship in about no turns. So the next turn, they're going to do a defensive roll on your missiles. So there's a laser. That turret's going to try to take out the missile, and I'm going to give them, because they were so preoccupied with what was going on, they did not take out the missile. The missile the missile has hit the seeker ship. So that would be, anybody want to roll the damage on that? Roll 1D and let's see how many hits they took. Your missile hit theirs. Now their missile's headed for you. 4 hits. 4 hits. Do you want to roll those hits? Or do you want to try to see if you guys can take the missile out headed towards you first?
Well, let's do the damage first.
Okay, roll 2D 4 times. Let's see what it comes out to. 5. 5 is another fuel hit. 9. 9 is a computer or electronic hit. 12 is a critical hit.
Ooh.
And 2 is a power plant hit, which means they're at A, they're at 0.5. You rolled a critical hit on the Seeker,
That's
and
bad.
now you need to roll 1d6 on the critical table. 3. 3. Their jump drive has been totally destroyed. There's a hole in their ship. They've taken damage. Their jump drivers, they still have some firing power, but they've also taken electronic hits, so you've done some serious damage to the Seeker. Now you have a missile to take out. And Skyson's pretty good at taking out missiles. So, and with the maneuver evade going on, I'm going to give him a +2 to the roll to take out the missile. So 2d6 + 2, whoever wants to roll for Skyson. Does anybody want to roll? Should roll for Skyson.
I'll make a roll.
Okay, go for it.
Oh!
Wow.
And Skyson does it. Skyson pops the missile out from hitting from anything that comes near you. And now, at the same time, we would fall into the intruder movement, and the intruder laser fire, you guys can each fire lasers again. Now, Skyson's laser is aimed at the fighter. He can take another shot at it. And he's going to get 2d + 3 now because the fighter just took electronic hits. So I'm going to give her some maneuver evade ability. Her pilot skill will be minus to that hit. He only gets a +1. So if somebody want to roll Skyson firing a beam laser? Let's see, the beam laser is at medium range now. You're pushing towards short, which means they're about 5,000 kilometers away. They're definitely in combat range. Oh, that's a hit again.
No,
That's
I
a
didn't
hit
roll
again.
any different. Hang on, I didn't make
and
any
that's
roll yet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I thought you
Oh,
did.
that was the last roll.
Oh.
That was the
Yeah.
last roll. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay. What is
That's
the roll
laser.
now?
2d6 + 1.
Okay. My chat might be starting to lag and go yellow a little bit here.
Okay.
Here's the real roll.
7. Actually, he misses that. He misses that laser.
Okay.
They each get to return fire, but she gets a -1, and she's firing the laser because there's been damage to her computer. Her skills and her ability have kept it, but she's firing the pulse laser back, and that is a hit. So she does hit the ship. She goes, "Where's my brother?" And she looks like she wants to kamikaze on in. So you guys just did take another hit. And that hit is 10, which is one of the turrets. Ooh.
Ouchie, ouchie.
Which turret is it? 1, 2, 3, it's Skyson. 4, 5, 6, it's Jug.
Whichever the one is not the missile one, because we want the missile one.
Okay,
It's Jug. You still have the missile one.
Yeah.
Jug took the hit.
Sweet.
So he's temporarily disabled for this round. He's going to need a maintenance on it. So the turret is messed up. So it's going to need some work. He can't fire that turret off at the moment.
Which one is it? Is that electric or mech or engineering?
It could be electric or mech. Either one of those.
Yeah,
I would let engineering do it at a -1.
Yeah, okay, well that's okay.
The skill.
Same as I've got electronic one, so I can scramble up there and try to do something next when it's the turn to do it.
Okay, so where we're at with that, where are we now? Native ordnance to fire missiles. So where that was intruder return fire, they've taken serious damage. They are in some serious crap. And they've also lost half their fuel, their drives. They get a chance to fire a missile again, and they will. That's going to hit in another turn. But you get Skyson still got his drives. Skyson has to re-aim for that because he's not aimed at, so he's going to have to aim in on that. So he's only going to get a +1 for re-aiming. He's only going to get a +1 to hit that missile. That missile's going to hit in the next turn, so he's going to have to focus on that. But in the meantime, intruder movement, you guys can move. You can do evasive maneuvers, and then you can fire. But first, we're going to have the evasive maneuvers, and that would be they're having a maintenance situation roll a plus 2d6 plus 1 to see if you can hit their missile. And then you can launch another missile too in a minute, and then you can have a laser fire back at them.
All right. I got it.
Big number.
Oh,
Big
Yeah.
enough.
Yes!
Big enough.
Skyson takes out the other missile that's headed in their direction, and Skyson can fire a laser shot, and then he can launch a missile after they return fire. So you get another fire on the laser. You guys are all within 0 combat. Beam laser. See.
what's the plus on the laser?
I'm going to say it's at a +2.
All right. 8. That's another
8
hit.
is a hit. 8 is a hit. And it's a beam laser. I'm going to let you roll twice for damage on that. Roll 2 times. Because you're at medium. We should have been doing that prior, but we didn't. We just had him on 1 hit.
All right. Hit number 1 is a 5.
Fuel again! Now they're dangerously low on fuel. And 4 would be another hit to the jump drive, which is already destroyed. They're slowed down. Their electronics. And they get to return fire, but because of the damage that's done, they're going to do 2. They get a -2 to that. So they're trying to return fire at a -2. And that is definitely not even near a hit. They're in trouble. They're in trouble with losing fuel. They've lost enough fuel now where they may actually be out of power. So you definitely have an advantage on the Seeker. Now, Norma, on the other hand, you can launch the missile at Norma now. She's still suppling on in.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what we're doing.
You're going to launch
Shoot
that
fighter
missile.
down.
Okay. She gets a -1. Fucking killing all the Pliskins off. -1 to the laser. And she does not hit the missile. Her laser did not hit the missile. So
That's a
Pliskin's
small
missile,
craft.
and it's a small craft. So that would be, you want to roll the damage on it. Roll 1d6 for hits. How many hits did you make?
All right.
And that's on the small craft
Yeah,
table.
no, that's nice. Oh, 2's still
Ooh,
good.
only 2 hits though.
Yeah.
So roll 2 hits on that table. Roll 2d6 twice. 11.
So close to blowing it a bit.
Her weapon systems are destroyed. There is no more firing lasers or missiles for her. Then roll 1 more hit. 6. 6 is a cabin hit. You killed her.
Oh,
She's
all
dead.
right.
She is dead. The other ship now, it seems to be out of power. They don't seem like they could fire at them, so you could fire on free will on that ship. You would just roll hits.
She was the Pliskin, so I guess we can't have her as a matched set with Snake in our.
Unless she's still alive, there's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
You hit the cabin. There is. Let's say you could check and do a medical check, see if she's still alive.
Yeah.
Maybe she's alive, but you did hit the cabin. I'll say there's a chance she might.
Guys, let's collect the whole thing.
That's what I'm thinking, but
6.
the other guy's not a Pliskin.
Okay,
so I'm sure he counts.
I want you to. Okay, you guys are just going to be shooting. You've aimed in at the Seeker. I just want you to roll 1d. Roll 1d 2 or 3 times. Just 1.
Yeah.
It's taken me 2 attempts to fix the other turret, just so you know.
Oh, the turret is fixed. The 11 fixed it. Well, the other ship can't even fire on you. They seem to be out of fuel. They don't have the ability to fire lasers with the fuel hits that you've made. Now, you guys, what damage have you taken? You've taken an electronics hit, and you've taken damage to your drive.
To the drive?
To your turret. No, your electronics and your fuel, right?
We had 1 fuel, 1 electronics, or computer, and 1 turret hit. That's what I know.
Okay. Those are all pretty repairable. Nothing hits your drives. Your precious hardening is still solid. Yeah, and it looks like from there. Now I need a couple 1D rolls. I want to see what happens here. You're firing free lasers at the Skyson and Jug both. Once you got the system running, they're both aiming in, and it's like a sitting duck because the Seekers run out of fuel.
Yeah.
And you hear over a comm. You hear over the comm. I surrender. This is Riser. I surrender. We surrender. We surrender.
Okay. Do we want to blow them up, or what do we want to do? I'll put it
Are
to a
you saying
vote.
that over the intercom, are you, Captain?
Yeah,
Well, we
Not over the.
operate under the laws, don't we? Which means if they
yeah.
surrender, we must then in turn take on that surrender and take them on board as captured and deliver them to the
Yeah.
closest constable or
All
whoever.
right, that sounds fair.
Constable around here wouldn't be called Pliskin by any chance.
Dyson says, "Fuck you," and he fired off 3 lasers, and so does Jug. And Jug
Oh,
just
hey.
blew. Jug just blew the Seeker up.
Oh,
The Seeker just exploded into little pieces. The last hit the core of the fusion drive, and the Seeker is no longer there. It
the
is
captain
gone.
says, there
And
was
the
looting to be
crew
done there.
that was on the Seeker is gone. He says these are hostiles that kill or be killed, and they're going to keep pursuing us. So now they're not.
Eh,
You do have
Eh.
this floating,
Fighter.
knocked out
he wasn't
shuttle
family,
fighter.
and yeah, that guy wasn't
So-
family, and I wanted to loot his Seeker, but well,
There's nothing to
That's-
loot.
No.
yeah,
Might
not
be able to
anymore.
get a bit of armor plating off it, but that'd be about it. On the other side,
No,
it didn't
it's-
hit.
Yeah, well,
It
Easy come, easy go.
exploded like a small fusion burst. It was a burst of light. There is nothing left of that ship. You got a critical 6 hit, which is a full explosion. That ship is gone. There is no survivors. But you do have this damaged, dead, floating
Let's collect the whole set, guys.
fighter,
Yeah.
which you may want to investigate. There's a chance that she could be alive on that fighter.
Yeah.
In a vac suit, but obviously the cabin was blown apart, which means that it's not pressurized anymore. But when you're in a fighter, you wear a vac suit.
Yep.
So you hit the cabin, which is the hole. You blew up a portion of it, which depressurized it. Is there a chance that she's alive? You could coast on in and reach the same velocity. I need a piloting roll, and then you could maybe Pierre as a medic, and you guys could go check and investigate.
All right,
Anything I can sense to make sure she's not faking us out or anything?
No problem.
Little.
No,
Computer
not really.
can
There's
do that.
nothing you could really tell. You
She-
could zoom
she's,
in. If you do a high enough sensor roll, you could zoom in and do on a camera and see if you could see in close. Now that you're close enough in, you could like scan in like a camera and zoom in.
Yeah,
And see what
these
you see.
Pliskins are duplicitous. They're snakes,
Sneaky
so to
as
speak.
snakes. Yes.
They're not that bright, actually.
Well, we had the big fat missiles. They had some missiles. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
You did get lucky. You got the advantage. There was
How are
a moment there where I
passengers?
thought you were going to get shredded a little bit, and they had the
How-
ability to shred them. But you guys have your swift maneuverability and your good gunner skills saved your ass.
Yeah,
Saved
I
you.
want to censor the fighter, or put out sensors on the fighter and see what's happening there.
Well, you're going to zoom on in the camera. I need you to do electronics roll for me.
Yeah,
Plus 2, 2d6 plus 2. Let's see where that lands, and
yeah.
I'll tell you what
It's a
she's doing.
visual. It's a visual sensor. In other words.
Ah,
Not perfect,
you definitely see a body, but it turns. You can't tell what she's doing or if she's moving. You didn't see any movement, but you do see the vac suit, and it looked intact. But that's all you could tell. You don't know if she's faking it or just sitting there, but you didn't see any movement, and it definitely looks intact. Like the hit didn't hit her directly. She might have felt some pressure from the impact. You can't tell anything else beyond that.
Yeah, I reckon we should send someone over and grab her and bring her back. Someone who hasn't done anything this round. Who would that be? Cowboy.
no. 2 guys.
Oh.
Send 2 guys.
I think that our engineer boy should come with us.
Oh no, I'm checking the ship to make sure she's all workable. I know my place.
Bring some.
Oh.
I think it should be at least 2 guys out there and bring some what you call it, anesthetizing pipe wrenches.
Skyson and Jug say we got this, and they put on the vac suits. It's a cowboy.
I'll say, try to bring her back alive.
So they jump into the air raft. You guys pull
Yeah,
up
I have
alongside
this
of it.
raft.
You want to do another sensor? You can't get a view because the fighter. It just floated backwards, so you can't really see what's going on.
I'll prep
So you
one
don't
of
really
the
know.
deep freezer units.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does the
Next
air
thing
raft
you
work?
know, you guys don't see anything. You don't hear anything, but the air raft has turned around and it's headed back. You can't see exactly what's in. You're going to communicate with them or ask?
Well, sure.
Yeah. Skyson says, we got her. I think she's alive but unconscious. But we got another Pliskin.
Alright.
Ooh, only 3 more to
They
go. We've
bring
got
her
the
on
whole
board.
set.
Unfortunately, one of them is.
You ain't got Willie yet. Willie's still.
I know, we've got to
We're
track
gonna
down
have to
Willie.
put.
Little
And
Willie.
we just need to clone Big Dick, and then we've got, you know, I wonder how much we get when we trade the whole set in. And Ma Pliskin. I don't know how the hell we're going to get her. She's the
We're
most
gonna have
wily of the
to.
bunch.
We're gonna have to put
Oh.
little hooks on the walls, like for collectible teacups or something.
Yeah, hang them off the wall like that. They're fantastic conversation pieces.
Yeah, captain's in favor.
So she is alive. We're gonna do a medical check on her, Pierre, or revive her, or
Just chuck her in the ice cube maker.
Let me,
She'll be fine.
Let me read
Freeze
that
her.
Hippocratic oath again.
Yeah.
No, there's no loopholes.
Hypocritical.
Too bad.
Is it hypocritical?
Hypocritical oath. Yeah, that's well in the other service, other stuff I've been doing.
Yeah.
But okay, let's examine her. I had the medical 2. Oops, now I even forgot. Of course it was 2. Medical.
2d6
Norma.
plus 2.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fine. The blast and she suffered a concussion from the vibration and the feel of the blast, so she's out cold. But you pick up that fine, and you could probably have her revised. You have her cuffed, or I don't know what you do. You have her in the laying on a table. So you could revive her if you choose, or you tell me what you're going to do now. But she's totally fine. You want to revive her and question her, or what are you going to do?
Strap her down first.
Yeah. Just restrain her. So you restrained her to the table, and you're going to revive her.
Well, I'm not in visual sight of any of this. Thank you very much.
No, you're still in the back drives. You don't even
Oh,
realize.
I've been in the hangar deck prepping the ice cube maker.
Oh, you're over by the low burst then.
Yeah,
the low
so
burst
that's
chamber.
okay. I'll just
Yeah.
I've heard they're taking her up and they're doing something, so I just go back to the engines.
Okay. You also might want to check the fuel tanks too. You guys did have a fuel tank. You lost about 10 plus tons of fuel.
Okay.
But you were full of fuel plus the jump, so you're at 20 some tons. So it's
Yeah.
self-sealing. You got a fuel leak to patch. Plus you have some electronic
that's my
stuff
for
that
mechanics
needs to be
to fix
repaired.
it. 8. I've got mechanics 0.
8?
Yep, and I've got 8 on the button.
Okay.
So I'm out there
So
in the suit fixing
it's going to take you a couple hours to patch that. You guys are
easy.
still coasting. You're still on course.
Yep.
But you're working on that while you're on course.
Yep.
So you're still on course to the world, and you're out there strapped and attached and doing what you need to do, and you'll have that patched. But it kind of frustrates you because you're meticulous and it's not pretty anymore. It's a scar.
What about the mood of the passengers? Because the cowboy was.
They're a little shooked up, but Cowboy said that's why Cowboy stayed, and Skyson and Jug went, because he's using his steward skills to say, well, there are hostiles. We had a hostile situation. When he's using his streetwise and his skills, he's got them calmed. They were scared, and they were in emergency pressure bubbles in case you guys took a pressure hit, but you didn't. He took care of them. He was attending to the passengers, and he has them all fine. He's got them all calmed down now. He says, Captain, they're all good. They're a little shook up, but they're eager to go to work and go harvest acid.
Okay.
All right. Well, Well, we may want to file a report and turn in our pirates to the scout base. Depends.
You really
First
think
of all,
that? You
no.
think that's a good idea? A little Fury
Depends
Flame
on
scout base?
depends on who's in charge of the scout base and what his last name is. I don't know. But we got
So you,
We're
so are you going to revive her or what? Did anybody revive her? Are you there when she's revived?
I'm strapping her down, and I can revive her. And I'm not good with talking to Viperous
Captain?
little.
yeah. Oh yeah,
What do you think?
I'll be right there. Yeah. Well,
All right.
she good to wake up, or I don't know. I
Yeah.
kind of want to gloat at her, but I kind of want to just chuck
She,
her in the fridge. No.
All right. I get to wear my stethoscope and stuff, and do another medical roll.
Yeah. I
she
don't know.
wakes
You
up
want?
and you could.
Oh, spontaneously.
It's spontaneously. She wakes up now. You had a good medical roll to begin with, so she's up now because you and she goes, oh my God, what happened? She goes, oh,
No.
what happened to the Seeker?
It's blown up. I'm sorry. I think you're.
Oh my God, that's my husband and Slender
I'm
and
sorry.
her crew. They're gone, and she starts tears are rolling,
Yeah.
silent tears are rolling down her face as her
Yeah,
face
boy.
is beat red, and she realized she's been had.
I was hoping
She goes,
I'd
no one,
be able to
and
capture her, but
she
well,
silently says, no one has ever been able to outwit us with my shuttle in the bay, with my fighter in the bay.
yeah,
We've taken down ships greater than yours with ease.
yes.
She
Your
says
brother
this in
said
a
the
low
same thing.
monotone.
Yeah. The captain says, "Yeah, your brother said kind of the same thing, but his problem was he seemed to have a great deal of difficulty telling the difference between a sheep and a wolf in sheep's clothing." And the captain just grins.
Where is my brother?
Oh, we
Now
got him
remember
on ice.
the medical table's in the low berth room, so
Yeah,
you could almost just point to him.
yeah. I'm like, oh, we got him on ice over here. He seemed like a decent enough fella, but we got him over here. We're deciding whether to turn him in or what.
She gets this snarly look on her face. She says, you do realize you'll never escape the grasp of the Pliskin business
Boy.
empire.
Well, we've done it 3 times.
We know
so
who
far.
you are. We know. You've done it what?
Anyway, well, that just means
Done it
maybe I
3
shouldn't.
times, she says. What do you
Maybe,
mean 3 times?
maybe I should just put you on ice, and then if this business empire comes after me, well, I can just sell you guys to them. So hey, Verbal, chuck her in the fridge.
She
We're gonna need
resists, but she doesn't have any choice to do a medical
She's
roll, and you're
strapped.
putting her down.
Yeah, and
Yeah. But
we're
she's wiggling
tranking
in the
her.
strap.
I'm tranking her as part of the cold sleep
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
low berth
You trank
procedure, whatever
her.
you call it.
You don't
Yeah.
even need to roll. You don't even have to do anything. And now she's next to her brother. You've got Norma and Snake Plissken on ice.
Yeah,
got
how
two
did she
low
think
berth
she can
snakes.
make threats in her position?
Yeah, seriously. These
She's a
guys are
Pliskin,
like
man.
Keystone Cops.
Well, this is. I'm sure it's witnessed. I'm sure some amateur. I'm sure there's some amateur astronomer who's 12 years old on the planet, and his name is probably. What's a
Junior
good
Plis-
name? No. I'm thinking.
Hubble,
Probably
Hubble.
Chip
Hubble.
Pliskin.
Chip
Pliskin.
Hubble Pliskin. There you go.
Or something really stupid like Copernicus Pliskin.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Copernicus Pliskin saw the space battle, more or less interpreted what it means. He knows that Anti's fighter was stalled, the Seeker's gone, but Anti's fighter was retrieved, or the contents of Anti's fighter was retrieved, and he's going to go to his little telegraph room and start telegraphing it on the Pliskin net. And as ships jump to other places, they're going to spread the news and maybe a screenshot or two. So it's really an insidious bunch, these Pliskins.
Do we have enough room in the cargo hold to pull that busted fighter in? 'Cause,
Oh, you do.
there we
You
go.
absolutely do, because you only have 18 tons and 5 tons. That's 23, 24 tons.
I feel another job
So you could
coming
pull
on.
that busted fighter in easily
All
into
right,
that.
cool.
But
Thank you,
pretty
Wilson.
much the drives are still intact. You didn't hit the drives at all,
No,
did you?
just the cockpit
You hit
and
the
the weapons
cockpit,
and the weapons
weapons.
sensors system.
There's the missiles
Computer.
are not able to fire, but there are. She
Mm,
fired how many missiles at you guys? Do you remember? Help me
3.
here. 2,
Uh,
3. There's still 3 more missiles left. So you can add those to your collection of standard missiles too. So instead of 2 extra, I think
As
you
I see
have.
them go out and collect this, I just think another job for me. So I start cleaning up outside, come in, and say, "So did she say anything of any great importance?"
Threats.
Oh,
yeah,
Lots of
about how
threats.
the Pliskin
Rightio.
business empire will come after us, which
Yay.
I think we already knew that.
Do we have enough low berths? I suggest. I think we might need to get some more. Anyway, I
how
suppose
many
you want me
more
to go
Well,
to the fighter of the fighter and see what's what.
What does this ship have now? God, I'm looking at facilities. You have 20 low berths. You got 18 left. And
Well,
yeah,
At least we can
you've
get
got 10
the
staterooms.
female side of the Pliskin family in.
Yeah. So you burned 22 tons of life support, but you also have an issue now too, where you lost fuel, and you got some damage stuff you have to deal with. The turret's still not 100%, but
Yeah.
you did get it firing again properly for Jug. He thanks you. He thanks you, and you also remember, thank you so much. He says to you, and he says, without your help, we wouldn't have been able to defeat them. And then you see an image of that of him angrily firing that shot and blowing them up after they were already crippled in your head, and you get chills going down your spine.
Oh, I'm getting a
And
flashback.
all of a sudden you get a little bit of a headache too.
Yep.
Like, oh,
Okay, I'm gonna have to go get some. Yeah, I must have banged my head somewhere, and then I'll come back and get the fighter sorted.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down for a bit. I get it.
Well, now you're about ready. You're about at planet. The scout base is pretty inactive. The scout base is above them, and it says, "Hello, this is free." It says, "Come on in." Who is that? You come on in, and there's maybe like 2 scout couriers and a little tender by a small asteroid that's floating above the planet, and then down the planet at the center, there is this. It's like Mons Olympus on Mars, and it's got that small crater. It's this big mountain, and it's got that small crater like artificial tornado that keeps the bad atmosphere and the heat out, and you have to land directly in that. So they give you the coordinates and tell you how to land in.
Before we get there, Jerry, what's the cover story, Captain, about the whole incident?
We were attacked by a pirate ship, and we defended ourselves.
And
You were far enough away where there is no need for a cover story at this point.
Just in case somebody, at least
no one's asking.
No, but
no one's asking anything. This is a very, very remote.
Yeah.
Nothing's really here. This is a very remote, lowly populated. I mean, you're talking like 880 people, most of them workers, like a small town facility.
Except for Esme Pliskin.
Harvesting acid for petrochemical type of
Acidia
thing.
Pliskin. She has a thing for acid, okay.
Acidia Pliskin.
Acidia.
Yeah. So we're going to need a pilot roll to land down through the crater, which would be it's a basic, simple roll. 2 plus 2. You'd have to really roll.
Yeah. A consideration point here. This fighter that we got, okay, parts of it are intact and usable, but it's evidence. Do we really want something that says, that's named Spirit of Pliskin and nice painted colors with?
You do realize that? You remember the digits I read to you? Fury Flame has no law level.
Yeah.
It really has no government either. It's more or less just like a corporate type of. It's just
not even there.
No law level, no real government. They're just workers harvesting, and it's a Class B starport on the ground, and a scout base.
Well, scout base. I might. We might. I'm gonna find out who's running the scout base, and I might report that we were attacked by pirates and defended ourselves to the scouts.
You're going to report to the scout base.
Depends on what
That's
their name
Fury
is.
Flame.
Yeah, just let them know. But only if I check beforehand to see if there's anyone named Pliskin running the place,
Or Johnson.
just in case. Or John.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Skyson's gonna do his scout roll with his streetwise, and he says, "Whoa, Captain, don't do that yet. Don't
Yeah.
do that yet. Let's just land. Give me a minute. Don't report anything."
Well,
He
yeah,
says,
I was gonna wait for you, Skyson.
"Let's get down on the ground first, and
Yeah.
let me plug into their networks, and I'll give you the word on that."
Won't
So
something be obvious if we have scorch marks on our hull and
no, ships
stuff like
have
that?
scorch marks everywhere. This is the
Yeah.
frontier. See,
Okay.
you are a ship, and when you're out in space in the wilds, there is no law. It's like being in the ocean. But once you cross into the country, you're under the law. And right now you're landing on a world with no real law level. That means you can carry your fusion gun man portable around within the cavern colony of Fury Flame.
Probably won't see
So
anyone,
that's
but
where
you
you
can
are.
carry it.
Yeah, well, you don't
It'll
need to,
run
but you
away.
can carry whatever you
Yeah.
want here. This is
Okay,
kind of
so
now just a question, a low law level world. What kind of people do you think hang out here?
Oh, the nice
No
people.
law.
a
Yeah,
rough world has rough customers.
I mean, and also just consider. Pliskin has a place on this planet where he stored his goods. He was
Yeah.
going to
Are you
loot
doing
or
like an
trade or sell.
Are you doing like an alliteration? Pliskin has a place on this planet where he piles his plunder.
And it's
Yeah.
protected by pulse
Well,
lasers and
you don't
plasma
think he's
bombs.
got ties here, corporate and political, or even of value? So, you're landing now. You've just entered through this. It's like a hurricane's eye, and you just drop down like an elevator, and it's a big, wide open area, and there's these big, huge glow light, like they look like big crystals. They're glow light. It's about the size of a valley. I'd say like it's huge, like a space colony type of thing. And it's dirt with some vegetation, and it looks like it has a cycle of rain, where and even a few small like artificial cloud type of thing. And now you're landing in the center point of this valley.
It's gonna be a
There's
high tech.
just rough patches of ships, and you land down and you notice a small hammer class, which is like a 100-ton trader sitting there. You also notice a rugged corsair parked off to another side,
Shit.
and you also notice another seeker vessel, and another free trader, and a far trader. So you have all those ships
A hell of a firefight
there.
when we leave the planet.
And you just landed also. You don't know anything beyond that.
While we're coming in and all that sort of stuff, I did a roll for the fighter. I rolled a 10, so I don't know whether that means
Okay.
I diagnose what needs to
What
be
do
fixed
you
or
have
fixed.
there? You do have the potential of the drives. The drives are still intact. The fighter itself is destroyed. The computer is more or less destroyed. The weaponry is no longer fireable, the turret capacity. But the drives may be sellable at their value, at stock value, or depreciated. We'd have to see what that depreciation
Oh,
is.
yeah. Well, I'll tell the
So you
captain
could
that.
disassemble those drives and possibly sell those drives.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't do any damage to those drives, but you did take out their capacity.
Okay.
And now you're down on the planet. And you let they say this bay is yours. They give you it's not even a hangar. It's just a flat like hexagon area that's about the size. It's about able to fit a streamlined ship anywhere from 1,000 to 100 tons, and your ship lands directly in the middle of that platform. And it's kind of up on a hill, and then down below it is the villages and the community, and it's rough. It's rough and rugged and kind of slummy. It's kind of like did you ever? It's kind of you ever see those villages where like in like in Argentina where there's almost built out of like freight houses and stuff.
Yeah,
What
on
was
the
that
back
movie?
of Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Buenos
Oh,
Aires, yeah, up in the back part.
what is that? What is that space movie? Player One, Player, or that
Oh
sci-fi
yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Player
Ready Player One, where they've got all the stacked
Ready
cargo
Player One.
trailers.
It looks like the part of the area where he lived in.
Yeah.
It's slummy. It's ghetto. That's what the village looks like. And you land there and says, "Ah!" And all of a sudden, this guy comes out and he's got a cigar and he's rugged and he looks like just a shitty supervisor. He says, "You got some workers for me, mate?" And you notice he's bald, he's fat, and he's half of his skull is like burned, and he's also got burn marks on his arm. And he says, "I'm looking to see if you got some young blood for me." He comes out. He's welcome to Fury Flame, where we make the best petrochemicals in the galaxy, and we're proud of it. So you've landed and you're able to
Yep.
exit, and there is no security. There is no anything.
All
And
right. Well, we
go ahead.
yeah. Well, obviously we trundle out the workers, and they go off with their meager duffel bags each.
Yes.
Happy
So that's
Felonious.
16,000 times 5. What does that come out to? That would be the payment.
80,000.
80,000. So you got a plus 80,000 to your total, which was 16. So you have plus 80,000 there. Now the first thing also is to go and see where you could sell the petrochemicals and the meat. I would think that's going to be the first thing you want to do.
That doesn't make 80.
No,
16.
it's 16,000
16.
passage. Two middle
Sorry.
Yeah.
passages each, 5 passengers.
Sorry.
5
Or 10
passengers,
times
2
8,000 if you
parsecs.
prefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going so
So it makes 690. Our ship balance is now, obviously, we were loaded up with everything else, 693,050.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
693,050. And now you have the 5 tons of pharmaceuticals at 100,000 base price, which you paid 40,000 for. And you can go to the trade center. You go to the trade center where cargo's exchanged and traded, and there's definitely some interest in the pharmaceuticals and the meat. And you notice though while you're there, you notice some rugged types, spiky boots, spiky collars, just kind of watching you off to the distance.
Mhm.
Trade center. There's about 4 guys that are just kind of looking at you. One of
Oh,
them
we should
has
be.
he's got a goatee and a bald head. He looks kind of like Lenin from the Russian Empire
Yeah.
from 1917, but fatter and bigger with dark glasses on, and he's got that pointy beard like that. He's just fumbling with his beard, and he's got 2 other thug guys in there looking at you. They're just staring at you as you walk around the trade center.
Mm-hmm.
You notice too,
So
one of the things you do notice is a lot of these people are slightly deformed and burned. Almost everybody that seems to be from here has burn marks.
Yeah,
some sort
industrial
on.
type accidents, and
Yeah.
now what is their custom about wearing weapons? We should perhaps be showy and wear
There
a
is
showy.
none. There's no law. What are you wearing?
No.
What did you guys wearing? Your armor? You carrying your gun? There's no law. There's
Under-
absolutely
yeah.
no law.
I'm wearing my combat armor
It's-
underneath my engineering.
Yeah. Well, honest
What are you all
trade has-
wearing? Rodrigo?
Yeah, I got
Oh, man.
cloth armor and my shotgun with me.
Okay. Do you have reflect on too with that?
Let me check. Yeah, there's reflect armor and cloth, shotgun. Oh, and he's got a sword with him too.
Stoney's got his combat armor.
Sorry,
Okay.
I think I got reflect as well. That's if
Cowboy
I'm
has
going.
his cloth armor on, his reflect armor. He has his auto rifle on him. What else does he have on him? Yep. He also has a submachine gun on him too,
Yeah.
and his auto rifle hanging on him.
I'm just taking my blade if I go off the ship.
Okay, and Skyson has both of his auto pistols. Actually, Skyson's got his laser rifle on his back with his laser turret, and he's got a auto pistol strapped to his side. And a laser carbine. He's got his laser carbine on his back, and he's wearing his. Skyson has combat armor. He's also wearing combat armor, but he has his visor up. So you're walking around with combat armor and his gear on.
Yeah.
They see that and they're taking notice of that. These thugs look more like they're in civilian clothes. They may have cloth on underneath it. You can't really tell. The guys that are standing there
Um,
watching you. Well, they're about 30 meters away from you, and you're in the trade facility. There's a guy. There's an old woman. She looks like she might have been attractive at one time, but there's a burn on half the side of her face. And she goes, "Welcome to Fury Flame. I run the trade facility. I hear that you have pharmaceuticals," and she's working with you. And now she said, "We definitely need pharmaceuticals, and we have funds. We can either barter to trade petrochemicals or pay you outright." And I think, Captain, you'd be more interested in cash.
Yeah.
So it would be up to Pierre now to see. He's got to do both the rolls. You get a
business,
2d6
yeah.
plus 3. 2d6
Okay,
plus 3,
one.
and you want to roll high. You got to do one roll for the pharmaceuticals and then one roll for the meat.
As a strategic thing, I'm wearing my armor and my auto rifle, but I also want to wear a medical patch. Do I have a jacket with my medical patch to show that I'm medically trained?
You
I want
yeah.
that to be visible. I want the if
Yeah.
it'll pacify people.
We'll say that you have a medical signal doctor that shows that you're a doctor on your over your coat.
Yeah.
You're wearing cloth, right? You're not wearing a battle dress. You
Medic
don't
too
have one.
might not quite be a doctor, might be a kind of meatball surgeon, whatever.
Yeah, it
medical
doesn't
field.
matter, but they know that you're medically
Okay.
capable, so they're not gonna. Oh, they're not gonna. Yeah,
All right.
that's obvious. You've made that
So
apparent.
the roles for the trade then, and we're talking about trading what first
2D plus 3. Yes, for the
for the
pharmaceuticals.
pharmaceuticals. Okay. 2D, got to be 2D6 on roll 20, and
Yep.
pharmaceuticals. I can't lose with the low price we got this for. Good. Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I've seen a place of dire need here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wear combat armor under your overalls. Combat armor is too visible. It's like a vac suit. So
Who
that's not
asked
worth
that?
it, Stone.
Who asked?
If you're wearing combat armor, you're wearing
That's
combat armor.
if I leave the ship at all, I'll be doing
Yeah.
inventory
Yeah.
collect.
Oh, you're still on the ship, Stoney? You didn't go
Well,
with
I've
them?
been told I need to go off the ship. I'm just fiddling around with everything, starting to break down the fighter, check on the starship engines, all this usual stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't mind
so
the little
what is-
noise background. I'm in my garage and my wife just pulled in.
Yep.
So you might hear
Sure.
her.
If we hear some crunching
Okay.
noises and she's run over your legs, we know she's.
No, if garage is big.
Damn.
Yeah.
No more
They
game.
Well,
Yeah, the game would end with me ending. Anyways, did you make that? Oh, 11. 11. Oh my God. Damn. What does that mean? Let me see. Where am I?
So this is going to be a percentage over base.
Yeah. 11 is 150%. So that's 750,000 you made. You bought it for 40% of 100,000 and you sold them for 150% of base. So that would 5 tons at 500,000 base. That's 750,000 you could add to the till you just made on those pharmaceuticals.
Right. Ooh-wee.
You guys
Okay,
just
so that
made
brings us.
750,000.
Yeah, so that makes 1,443,050 credits. Oh,
Yes.
but never mind. I'm not going to do the partial total. Also going to sell that perpetual
You
meat.
you got to make a roll to sell the meat.
Yeah. Okay. Same thing. Is it the same
plus
pluses?
3? Yep, same thing.
Okay.
Same roll, just different prices. Let's see how it lands.
Faux
I do
loany.
believe you bought that for. Ooh, plus 3 is 6. You didn't make.
Somehow they got a glut. Somebody came here before. Dang. What does 6 do?
That's at 90% of 18 tons. What is that? 18 tons at 1,500. It's what? What is that? That's 30.
Well, it's easy. It's tenths, so
27 tons. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like this.
Yeah.
And you can make it or 2,700 times 9. Well, no, I still have to use the calculator.
Yeah.
I used to be good in my
1350 times 18.
Yeah.
You still made money on the meat, but the meat was smaller price because you got it at 2. So you still made money on the meat. Or did
It's
you
just
sell
a
that?
toy. The big thing is that big
Yeah.
tonnage of ointment or whatever they need here. Lots of ointment.
And bandages.
24,300.
Yeah, I got it. That was it. So it's really an afterthought compared to the big score of
So
the.
what's the total of the ship's fund right now?
Yeah, let me do that. I've been carrying the net ship total faithfully, and I go back to my calculator. We had 693,000, and then a spot of trouble in space. 693,050 plus big 750,000. So that's more than doubled our take, more than doubled our funds, plus 24,300 for the meat. Fine. Did we have grain in addition to this?
No,
I don't think we took any grain. Okay, so we
Yeah.
now seem to stand at 1,467,350 credits.
Yeah. See about
I'll
scrapping
double
the
check
fighter
again.
too.
Double check.
$1,467,350 credits is what I come up with. Does that sound match your numbers?
Yeah, that matches.
So you have 1,467,350 credits in the ship fund. You also have damage to the ship. You have some other things to look at, and you still have some drives, which on a fighter ship would be. Let's look at those ones quick. Hang on one second. What they would be? You wouldn't be able to get full price, but you might be able to sell those here, or would you not want to do that?
They're not really
And look,
equipped to handle drives, aren't they? They don't handle jump
well, they
drives
do
on
have
that
a C-class starport, but
class. Yeah.
you notice though as you're walking around, it seems these thuggish guys. There's thuggish people all over. People are watching you, and the people that are watching you don't have burns on them. The burn people are just about their business. Oh, hi, hello. There's some kids begging and like asking for, would you with cups, and it's just rough. I mean, it's like ghetto fab, man. It's a rough place.
Well, I'm
So,
interested in the unburned people. They don't look like they're from around here. Is there a noticing that I can do of some sort and with my streetwise?
no.
Yep.
So
Really?
Skyson goes to one of the computer terminals. He wants to plug in and see what he can find out.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid computer. And Skyson is not. He's not able to get into the network. But he tells you, Captain. He says, Captain, don't do anything. He says, don't do anything. He says, what I'm sensing is, he says, I'm just feeling the vibe. This is Pliskin's freaking back hole. We're in Pliskin's
Yeah.
back hole. He says,
Yeah.
I don't know if you even want to toy with this or if we want to just fuel up and get the hell out of here. You
Yeah.
can buy unrefined fuel at 100 a ton, but you can only get unrefined fuel. And plus, your fuel tank is completely depleted. You had like 10 tons left. You did take fuel damage. You had a slow leak, and you jumped and traveled.
Right.
So you need to buy about 3,400 credits worth of fuel, and you can do that right away and refuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does
maybe
anybody
the,
realize we
fuel-
had? Yeah. Does anybody realize we had a spot of trouble outside? And also, I don't think we swore the passengers to secrecy, did we?
Nope.
They're going to say
No, the
there's
passengers are out and about. And the captain, that one Lenin-looking guy, bumps up to you, and he says, what happened to Riser? Where's my friends Jack and Norma? He bumps into you. The thugs bump into you. They approach you. And now there's a lot of people around. Nobody's pulling out any weapons.
Yeah. I just say, well, the job is dangerous, and Riser didn't make it.
So Riser's no longer here? You are the Venetian Wind, aren't
you? Yeah, that is me.
And then he starts thumbing with his beard. He smiles with a smirk. It says, welcome to Fury Flame. where the burns go down to the soul. He walks
Mm.
away, and him and his thugs walk away.
Yeah.
Really
We might be
hardcore.
seeing, we might be seeing that guy again, but no telling if he's with Pliskin or if he's just a curious competitor rival.
Yeah, these guys probably walk around with thermoses full of acid all the time, and they can just toss it in our faces at any time they want.
Yeah.
So,
Give us that
while
lived-in-
you're doing that, Skyson's working himself to another terminal. He's going to give it another shot, and this time he pulls some shit up. He says that he says, "Oh my lord, you do not want to report to the scout base. It's not a family member, but there's a network here, and there's strong ties between the old man who runs this scout base and Big Dick. This is part of the Pliskin network here. It says you're in the middle of it. If these aren't recruits, these are pirate friends. I'm assuming that you got that Corsair. They have their eye on us." He says, "If we're going to get out of here, I don't even know if we should look and see what this facility is, or if we should buy cargo.
Yeah.
I think we should wait till night and just jet out of here when they dim their lights night cycle." That's what he says to you.
We might have to leave the facility and hope that if nobody else knows about it besides Big Dick, then maybe we can come back later when we have.
Big Dick was gone, but it's this other administrator guy tied to the Pliskins in some way.
Yeah, it's a question of how many people Big Dick trusted with the location of his secret cache. If he's paranoid and doesn't want to be double crossed, it may be that he didn't tell anybody, and that's just going to sit there until maybe we can come back with more firepower and maybe some friends.
Do you want to deal? Do you want to have to deal with this hideout and the mechanical traps? And Jerry has 3 or 4 Dungeons and Dragons supplements, nothing but traps.
Yeah, would be fun, but I think we'll leave that. And
do we really want to waste time on that? We got to whack a money, okay, and we got to maybe I don't even think we should show the fighter drive here at all.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hang on to that.
Too many serial numbers that say PL155K3N on it.
Pliskin.
Too many serial numbers. And those newbies who got here and then we're taking a job for a stint, 6 months or a year or whatever it is. They're gonna blab about the rough weather they had out in space, and they're gonna blab to
it seems like you're being watched. So what's the plan to exit? Are you guys going to just leave, or how are you planning on? You're going to try to maybe trick them out? Because obviously you're not getting off here easy. Nobody's doing nothing to you now, but they're waiting for you to move.
Yeah.
And I don't even think you're up to going to a bar or anything, are you? No.
No.
Do I know if
we did our
explosives on board the ship?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we got all those missiles.
Yeah, but they can't easily be attached to other ships. I'm just wondering
if
we have
you
anything
could probably
like TDX
strip
or
the warheads out. Strip out the warheads.
Yeah, but they're still big.
Possible.
They're still big.
Yeah.
So what is your plan?
Explosives. Well, I was just asking the captain if he was radioing back any of this concern. What sort of explosives?
How did you dodge Pliskin the first time? When he was coming after you.
We had other alien technology to help us then, which we don't have now.
Well,
the bird.
The time before that.
That was the time we met him.
No, the first
Snake
time,
Plissken. It was Snake Plissken, us, and the avian guys.
Yeah, but we found the tracker that they put on our ship and used that to lure them away. So we need to see if somebody wants to put a tracker, and then we can do to them what we did to Pliskin, maybe.
Okay, and if you guys are going to put a tracker on a missile, then try to see if you can do the same trick.
Oh yeah, if anybody's planted a tracker on our ship, I assume that's their MO.
All right, do it. I need an electronics roll to see if you can see if anybody put a
Well,
subtractor
as
on your
I'm
ship.
on the ship, I'll do the electronics roll. Not successful, I don't think. Nope. I don't find
It's
anything,
not
so...
successful, but you absolutely don't find anything. Now, Verbal can do an electronics roll too. You don't find
But the
anything
fact is, I've been
of
on
any
board
sort.
ship all this time, and I haven't seen anyone inside, so it's going to have to be outside that do it.
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, you
I
haven't
can do it.
seen. There hasn't been anyone at your ship, but there's definitely seems to be eyes on the ship.
Yep.
There's definitely some guys walking around watching the ship.
We need to
There's
have
people
some sort of
watching everything. And the people
surprise
that are
move.
watching everything who seem to run the place are the ones without the burns.
Mm.
They actually seem to be dealing with run the place. The people that work here and live
Yeah,
here
so...
are their cattle.
Yeah, am I right in assuming that that joke about wearing a man plasma portable weapon, we do have one of those on board?
No, you don't have any of those.
Great.
The people that the ones that had those left you. Those were the
Yep.
avians.
Yep.
They took them
Okay.
with them when they left. You guys did business with them. They had them. They made Cowboys. Cowboy has the ability to fire those pretty good, which obviously you found out. So Cowboy's just keeping a distance from you. He doesn't want to start anything, but I think he's not even into joking with you now. He was irritated. He's still trying to be civil though, but distant, kind of like just evasive with you, Stoney.
Awesome.
And so that's where you and him are at right now. The joking is kind of ended, and you subsided into more or less silence
Okay.
and tolerance.
Has he stayed on board the ship or not?
No, he's been drifting around a little bit. But
Okay.
he's been staying close to the crew.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are realizing that your best bet out here is to stick together. So the ones that left, and you're sticking together because these guys just seem like they're ready to pounce you, or they're waiting for you to take off. And I mean, like they could almost ambush you. They seem to run the place. But at the time though, it doesn't seem like they want to do anything. They're just laying low. I mean, Jesus, you're like in a James Jones type of village here, man. It's completely theirs. No law at all. And a puppet scout base up above.
Yeah, this place
Probably
sucks.
is a bit of a missile
All these guys
platform in
need to be-
space above us.
All these
What
guys
we
need to
need
be
to
cleared
do
out.
is find some way to ground all of these birds. So when we do take off, there's nothing else in the air except us and what is up there.
Yeah, I'm mostly worried about that Corsair.
That's got to be grounded somehow. I don't know how we're going to ground it.
What does this planet have the most of?
Acid, but we can't get
Acid.
to it.
Yeah.
No.
And it's, getting that much acid and then applying it.
The acid's not going to go through a hole though. The acid will fry flesh and skin.
Yeah.
But starship holes are capable of handling these type of environments,
So
unless you have a seep.
we need
seep.
either some sort of electronic subtlety or explosive ability to actually render these birds inoperable. Even if it's for like a day, while we can get away.
If their tech is particularly lower, we might have an advantage in hacking. I'm not the best computer guy though. Who's our best computer guy?
I would probably assume that these guys, because I don't know if we've turned it off, have all got their own anti-hijacking software on board going at the moment. I know the shit as hell. I'd make sure.
Are there ships that are lower tech, or if their ships are at a lower tech, we have an advantage?
Well, Skyson's been doing the computers. He's got computer 1. You got electronic skills. Verbal, you have computer 1. And the captain has computer 1. So you guys are not computer experts.
No.
So, but you could dig at it and give some things an attempt. It would be a difficult task.
Are
But
there any?
there might be.
Sorry, are there any loading gear around the this area? Like big loading
You
gears,
mean loading gear?
cranes, or trucks that have got big hooks on them, or anything like that? Because we'd be loading.
Yeah,
stuff off
there is, but that stuff's down below, and there's people watching, and it wouldn't be real easy to roll those things up.
Okay.
There are people watching. They seem to be more or less watching your ship, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get them to look somewhere else for a
If you
while.
like engaging the FTL drives right where we are.
Well, that could create a serious misjump. You could explode the
Yeah.
ship. I mean, you're
Yeah.
on the planet.
No, I'm
You're
only
not even a
joking.
diameter.
I'm
You're in the
only
heart of the
joking.
gravity well.
There's no way I'd
I gotta
expect them to do that.
I gotta step away for just a
Yep.
moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so we've either got to trick them or we've got to deactivate them. That's the only two options we've really got, because anything else is going to open us up to something bad.
I was thinking if we could get them to stop watching us for like
They're not going to. There's
maybe
too many.
10 minutes.
There's a
Yeah.
Corsair, there's a 100-ton, there's a 200-ton merchant vessel, there's 2 Seekers, and I think there was something else. I can't remember what it was, but there's that and us.
Well, you also do remember that there's only one way in and out of here, and it's a volcano. Once you're through that volcano, it's sort of like a
yeah, it's getting out of the volcano with nothing behind us is the hard part.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like a door, though.
The acceleration of the ship?
Yeah.
I've forgotten. Sorry. What is the acceleration?
1.
Oh, fuck.
We're slow.
You're 1G. And the Corsair is like 3 or 4G, I think.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And the other free traders or far traders like 1 or 2G, and then the Seekers are 2G, and they seem to both be armed with beam and missile double turrets, just like the one you just watched.
The minute we leave the floor of the valley or whatever it is we're in, we're going to be a target.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about, the guys that are watching us.
A very good pilot there, Captain.
Yeah, pilot 2. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be good enough.
Oh, I'm thinking about the guys that are watching us.
Cowboy looks over at Stoney. He says, "You know, I'm a sharpshooter, and I've been watching this long enough. That guy over there is watching us, and that guy on that other hill's watching us. You know that I got silencers. We take both those guys out, and we jet off in the middle of the night. There's nobody to call."
Yeah,
that's
only those guys watching us. I'm sure that the other ships have these sensors on us.
Yeah. I was thinking if we could make them leave for like just 10 minutes, and then we set up a hologram of our ship. And then they come back and they see just a hologram of our ship where it used to be.
No, something even better.
All right.
Okay, if we can construct an EMP generator, completely turn our ship off, generate the burst, then turn our ship on and take off. We've got a really good chance of taking out a lot of their equipment. Even if we don't take out the drives, we can take out their sensors, makes them blind. Takes out their targeting computers, makes them harder to hit us.
Okay, if you do that, that would only probably work for some turns. It might delay them long enough for you to get into the air.
That's the thing. That's what we need.
We're gonna need a series of rolls.
Well,
I want to need a computer roll.
Just an idea. I share with the group. Because it's
something that it might have a limited range.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's going to take out all the ships around us, which is all we need. I mean,
well, it won't destroy them, but it'll disable them temporarily.
Right. Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm going for.
That was okay. So we got that idea.
Jump up. Because if we do the whole hologram thing.
Yeah, but you also know there's another issue, though. Pirate ships and bigger ships are hardened against those types of attacks.
Yeah, so we just got to make sure it's a really powerful pulse.
Yeah.
Because nothing's invulnerable to them. The only way you can be invulnerable to them is either not have the equipment on board or have it all turned off so it doesn't fry. Even then, it will carry a charge through the circuit.
So you guys are all aboard the ship right now, right?
Yeah, we're just discussing.
The only other thing I think of is introduce something to the food supply that would disable everybody, but I don't think that'll work either.
Yeah. Hologram distraction or EMP pulse. Is there any way that we could disrupt that volcano hurricane thing and shut the door behind us?
Absolutely. Absolutely there is. All of a sudden now Cowboy Jones and Sky Cinch, all we got to do is take off. if we shoot a missile or a couple lasers at the volcano, we could create an avalanche, and there's no way to take in or on or off. It would force them all to be stuck, and they'd have to deal with the volcano being broken. But then there's also a chance if we did that, we would stop the hurricane and we might kill everyone inside.
Everyone inside being 800 and something odd people.
Yeah, they're all dead inside anyway. I did,
So there is a chance if you take off abruptly and fire some missiles at the top of the volcano, you will destroy the pathway out of that. I mean, so that you're going to create an avalanche, which means the other ships won't be able to get out. And I mean, the hurricane may still be operable or not. If the hurricane's still operable and you plug it, then the village down below and the facilities should be fine.
Yeah.
If not,
we're talking genocide.
You kill the whole facility. And you also still have the scout facility above you, which is corrupt. But there was only like one regular scout courier there.
Yeah,
But you don't
even
know if they're even doing anything.
If it's a missile platform, we don't know.
Yeah.
Even Verbal thinks it's immoral. I mean, it's like a biblical tale. If there are even 10 non-Pliskans down here.
Stoney would not stand for that. That's mass
you haven't
murder.
heard what Stoney's thinking.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of he's leaning towards not doing that, but
it's the natural feature that keeps
saying you got to survive somehow.
Yeah.
It's a natural feature. It keeps them in a breathable air bubble. You don't want to disrupt that.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, you may not. There's a chance you may not. It's a gamble. You may just destroy the passageway, and they may be fine. And then they have to rebuild or dig their way to leave and restructure it.
There's just nobody here good enough. Yeah, I'm sorry. I may be
Skyson's good enough to fire the missiles properly to maybe create the avalanche. He's looking over the pictures. He says, I can do this without destroying the city. But you need to take off and get right to this point and let me aim and fire.
Yeah.
And I can do it. He says
we just don't have anybody good enough to computer model the effects of this. We got no scientist fellows.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know it's going to happen?
It's a gamble, but I can do it. If we hit it at this side of the wall, that wall will crash in and it'll just close the door. They'll have to blast their way through, or they'll get a crew up there to rebuild the top of the volcano. And by the time that happens, we are gone. We are in jump.
And you hope to shoot that exact spot as we rush out.
Yes. As you rush out, I need the captain to stop at a certain angle just long enough for me to fire the missiles. We're talking about 2 minutes before their ships will be out quicker. We power up the ship, we get in all our positions, but we make it look like we're asleep, and then we go fast. This is what Geison's saying. Jug says that'll work. That'll work.
Yeah,
I can fire the lasers where you direct me to also, Jug says. We can cut into it.
We had two other ideas. One is to EMP the other ships in the area to try to shut them down for a few minutes. But that might be hardened.
Yeah.
And then the other one was...
the chances... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the other one was to try to get those guys who are watching our ship away for a few minutes and then set up a hologram in the place of our ship. And we take off and leave the hologram there, so... But to get them away, we'd have to, I don't know, spill something caustic or...
Yeah, I think the captain...
Okay.
They won't just be relying on visual. They'll be having sensors on us too. So I think hologram might not be the workable option here.
Hologram may have worked for the last time you tricked out Snake.
Okay, so...
But under these terms, it's not looking real good.
Mostly be hoping to buy us a minute or so before they realize.
Yeah.
But,
I know, yeah, but I
the
think...
Well, you're also moving at 1G, and this is a heavy gravity size 10 planet. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to get to the 100 diameter point.
Yeah.
Longer than it would them. So, your options look like they're pretty cut and dry.
The only other thing we can do is somehow pull some of the missiles apart, take the explosives out there, plant them near their ships, blow them up as we take off, which I think is a much more implausible plan than an EMP generator. Yeah.
So you want to, but how are you going to plant the missiles on their
No, that's what I'm
ships when you're
saying.
being
It's highly
watched?
implausible. It's not gonna. That's
You
anything
are
I can
being watched, and
think
so
of.
are their ships.
Yeah.
There's
Whereas we
eyes on
can
you.
build an EMP generator, turn everything off, drop it under our ship, let it go off, bam, and we're done. But unless there's something else. Anyone else?
Captain
Yeah, Mentor
Rodriguez
just
went up.
dropped. Mentor
He
just
dropped
dropped
out.
because he said his Discord froze.
Oh, crap.
My response on Discord is a bit slow, but mid-game it sometimes helps for me to totally restart. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna restart, and Mentor is
wait.
restarting.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I'll be back in a moment.
All good.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So it's us, Steve.
Mm-hmm. And how are things going in general over there?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Cool.
Can't complain.
Awesome.
Can't complain. Boy, I had some ideas. You guys detoured. I had some other different plans, but I still pulled them together.
Yep.
Yeah. For a minute there, I was giving you the better mods because I didn't want you to get wiped out.
No, if we got wiped out, we should have got wiped out. That's just how it is.
Oh no, but I wanted you. There was still a potential for that, but
Yeah.
you guys did get the hits. You did
Yeah.
pull it out of the hat.
Yep.
You got some good gunners.
Okay. Just
But
waiting
this
for
could go.
PM.
I'm back.
Just rebooting.
Are you back,
We're
Mantar?
Okay.
Yep,
All right,
I'm
you're
here.
back.
Okay, rightio. So, anyone else got any other ideas about how we can get out of here?
To recap, we got the idea of the EMP pulse. We got the idea of some sort of distraction for the guys on the ground watching our ship to replace our ship with a hologram. That's not as likely as when we were in a crater.
We can get Verbal dressed up in a suit like Nicole, like Uhura did, and dance on the with the feather fan dancers, dance on the top of the ship.
Yeah, if we're doing that,
Did it work?
yeah. Well,
My
if we're doing
salary is
that,
not.
we might as
it's not my
well
pay.
challenge them to a breakdancing competition.
That's
or
way
something,
above
yeah.
my pay grade,
Oh,
and
damn.
You also notice another issue, and another issue is you look down at the town, and it looks like there's more men with guns prepping to head towards the direction of the ship. There's like 20 or 30 men on the ground. Almost look like they're dressed like
how long it's going
military.
to take me to build an EMP generator, but I'm going to start just in case.
So it seems like, and you're getting a communication that's coming aboard. Somebody's trying to communicate with you over the comms. It says,
Okay.
"We believe you have. We consider you fugitives, and we believe you have some dear members of ours aboard your ship. Surrender now, surrender now. We are preparing an armed force to come up to your bay. Surrender now, beneath."
we didn't get any fuel at all in all this,
We don't
did
need
we?
it.
You're filled with. No, you got fuel.
We
You're
don't need
full of
fuel.
fuel and your patch. You didn't. You still have the damage.
Okay,
You got
sorry.
your turret jerry rig. You got your turret
And the
Jimmy
sensors.
rigged up right now.
But we
And
had
your
bought
sensors
fuel,
rigged,
and what was the expense on the fuel?
30 minus 3,400. You got to take that off the total yet. 3,400. It's unrefined because you don't have refined fuel. You're going to have to do a jump roll. You got a +1. You want to roll low on this. You don't want a 12 because remember you're a free trader. You're not.
What's
Yeah,
the
you're
modifier
not.
for jumping within 10 AU?
That's another.
No,
Oh,
don't even risk that crap.
Yeah.
Let's do the trick. Let's do the trick about disrupting the volcano mouth.
Yeah,
If it,
that's what we're doing.
I reckon we need to
it's
know just in case
unmodeled.
we're gonna
You don't
use
have
it.
any.
Skyson says, you know what? There's some big weapons down there. We got to go now. He's in the turret right now, I think they got some man-portable type of equipment, which would be the same as a laser burst. We have
Prepare
to
for
fire the
liftoff.
drives and go right now.
Captain's
I
climbing
rolled
into his
an 8
chair.
on the first roll of I don't know how many to get this EMP generator working.
EMG, you don't have no time for the EMG generator. You just got the basic. You do have the draft of how you want to do it, but you hear the captain saying fire up the drives, and he's taking off. So I need a pilot roll to take off.
I'll go down to the engineer section and hold on for grim death. I'm in my vac suit, by the way.
Okay, the pilot takes off abruptly. He shoots straight upward out. It looks like the Corsair is firing up also. Like there was a crew sitting in there waiting. The Corsair's started to fire up, but it can't take off yet. You're going at a full straight acceleration straight up. You are out of the You are out of the crater, and now you have to stop and turn just like. I need another pilot roll to make sure you turned just like you needed. I need. Oh, that is an issue. That is an issue. So now. You did that. You needed an 8 or higher to get it. You did not get exactly in the position as fast as you could. So that's a 6. An 8 or higher would you get a minus. Skyson gets a -2 to his hit with what she's shooting with the missile or the laser. So he gets a -2 to that direct hit if he hits it right, which he is a +3. So he gets a +1 to his hit. If he hits it wrong, let's see what happens. Or he may not be able to close it up properly. That's right. Let's see if Skyson gets his hit off. +1.
Ooh.
Oh, Skyson still pulls the hit off. And now we got the laser. Jug is guiding on the laser. Oh, and the laser hits right. They sliced the mountain perfectly, and it's almost slides shut like a door.
Wow.
Now you're able to turn around and take off. And I need a pilot roll for acceleration.
All right.
And then I want to need a sensor roll.
Okay.
Oh, you've jetted out of the corrupt atmosphere. Do you even know where you're going? And you're at full 1G acceleration to the jump point. From now, you guys got to aim somewhere. Which place are you aiming to? You have no goal.
What's anyone heard
Where?
any good stuff about Mintlin?
Mintlin.
Mintlin. It sounds.
There's another scout
Nice
base. I don't
fresh.
like the idea of that. Hang on. Oh God, everything's bad.
Oh, I don't have any particular cargo to trade now, so
No, doesn't matter. Shamal. How about Shamal, guys? It's a water
that's
world.
an
There's
E-Star
no-
port. We
there's
need
no-
repairs, man. Look
there's
at these
nothing
E-Star
to play.
ports to the
There's nothing. Unless you want to go down to Timothy.
crap.
Timothy down there or Ryan, and we've already we discounted Ryan because it was a crappy place.
Or
for some reason.
Makila or Gobi. Well, Gobi's right in between Parched and Fury Flame.
Jambalaya. Yeah. Jambalaya has a B.
Yep,
And a
Timothy
gas
does have 2. I know it's closer to Parch, but and it's got a scout base. Jambalaya, here we come. Do we have the fuel to get there and the life support?
You have plenty of life support, but you're
Okay.
looking at a month. You're looking at a month on
That's a
board.
month
You've
we're
got
alive.
yeah. So you're just going to set the course to Jambalaya? Let me read what Jambalaya is to you. You set the course to Jambalaya. We'll say the time passes. And just as you're about ready to hit the jump point, you put the sensors on. Pierre, I need you to do a sensors electronics roll for me.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why in a minute.
All right.
'Cause
That's my
scout
traditional.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good luck.
You might want to relay this message to Stony to ease his mind, but based on your sensor rolls, the volcano is working perfect. The city is fine below. It was sliced perfect, and it was
Now-
just created. You crashed in the volcano as a blocked door, and based on your sensor rolls too, there's definitely lasers that are methodically working on cutting a hole big enough for a ship to get out. And it looks like they're about close enough to do that, but you're at the point where you can engage the jump. So we need a
Did
navigation roll. We set the course for Jambalaya.
Okay, hold on. Did we slice the volcano using lasers or missiles?
Both. And you did
Lasers
it
and
perfect.
missiles.
Only because you got good gunners. It had no part of the piloting role. The pilot slipped up. He did not get it in
Yeah.
the perfect position for the.
Pilot.
But your gunners compensated. So they made it.
Hands were shaking a bit there.
Uh-huh.
So the valley
So
below
Jambalaya-
is safe.
Yeah.
again, I got a big lag trying to talk to any of you. So
Okay.
the valley is safe. I've determined that just from sensor roll, but are we clear? Is there anything in our way?
No, there's nothing in your way. There's nothing moving. Nothing's happened fast. The scout base hasn't responded or reacted, and you're away from it, and you're moving towards the 100 diameter point, and the time is almost past for you guys to engage your jump. We need a navigation roll for Jambalaya. Lila.
Hang
Jambalaya.
on. Before we jump,
It's
what's the
Jimbalala.
cost? Yeah, what's the cost
Jimbalala.
for initiating the jump again? And the fuel? Because I'm thinking that scout
It's
base
10
may have
tons.
sensors on it. Okay,
It's
10
10
tons.
tons. Yeah, and then it's all the weeks of time in that hyperspace. So yeah, because you got FTL drives. So it'll take 10 tons and then a half a ton per parsec. So it's going to take you 12 tons of fuel.
We got plenty of fuel. I'm thinking maybe we do a short jump. If that scout base is looking at us, we want to do a short jump somewhere else and then turn and then go to Jambalaya, so they don't know which way we went.
They won't be able to tell which way you jumped once you jump.
All right.
Yeah, you're
never mind. I was thinking they could tell from our direction.
No.
But yeah, all right, not a problem then. Okay, never mind then. I wasn't sure how the FTL jump worked exactly in that regard. I just noticed we've been followed a couple times now.
I need you to do
got ahead of us.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was worried about. All right.
Captain, you want to do a navigation roll or verbal?
Navigation.
I don't do navigation. Do I? Yeah, it's either way.
Yeah, I got +2 on it.
Okay,
Perfect
you got
course.
the course set. Now it's just a matter of engaging the jump drives.
Okay. Okay, that's a +1.
Just a straight. No, it's a straight 2d6 +1.
I'm stroking them and patting them and telling them to stay calm. Just purr like my babies.
You're running on refined fuel. There's a slight chance of a problem.
I know. I'm trying to throttle the mixture and all that sort of stuff.
No, that's the pilot's job to roll this.
Verbal sensor board includes a little tiny glass manifold that flows some of that orangey colored fuel past, and it looks like a real sweet and sour sauce slurry this time because of the features of the planet.
Wait till I have to get in there and clean this out. Far out.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Perfect.
No, that's good. Nice. Lower the better.
Nice.
That's perfect. Yeah, this is a different roll. If you roll the 12, you don't want double. The only thing that can do you in is double sixes, because that's a 13. A 13 is a miss jump. The jump rolls are different, but anyways, which even though it's an FTL, it works the same. You can still. I call it a misfire. The drive misfires. But that didn't happen. You are in jump space, safe and sound. You're going to be in jump space for the next 4 weeks. There's only 6 of you. You have no passengers. You have no cargo. But you are in jump space. Nothing can touch you. You are safe. And now you just pulled up Jambalaya. And Jambalaya, I will read the stats to you, and I'll put them in the route. And then I think we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. But Jambalaya is a Class B starport. It's 8,000 miles in diameter. It has a standard tainted but breathable atmosphere, which means you guys would need respirators. It's a 7, yes. Yep. And it's 80% hydrographics. More or less, in a lot of ways, it's slightly a garden world. There are tens of millions of inhabitants.
It's a 7?
The government is, it's a 7. Yep. It's a civil service bureaucracy, which is an 8.
8. Yep.
And the law level is 7. Shotguns prohibited. So the law level is slightly high in regards to guns. It's a blade type of world to care. So I'm going to punch those numbers in. And the technology level is 10. Yes. So it's
good.
Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. But the law level's nice and high. If we were to turn into criminals...
Yeah. like to get a hold of a high-level scout base and tell them to,
Clean their act
clean
up.
their clean their house. But
I think they'll have a major internal affairs operation to depliskinify.
Yes.
If I just
Yeah.
invented a word there, depliskinify the scout service.
There's your stats.
Yep.
There's your stats for Jambalaya.
Hey,
Yep.
87 all across.
Jambalaya, I mean.
Yep.
Binary star with a
Jambalaya.
gas giant. No scout base.
Yeah.
Technology level 10. Class B starport.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
they were. There, it's funny how they were going to 86 us, but we've gone to the 87th planet. It's a
Very
sign.
good.
yeah,
One more number
you-
we get to live.
one more number
Just
you
one
get
more.
to live.
Yep.
Now, Jambalaya could offer. Who knows
Jimbalaya.
what would be next? Who knows what would be next? I would say from here, I think we can call it here, guys. What do you think?
Okay.
Or do you
stop
wanna
the
keep
going? Yeah.
recording. Hang on.